let's have a doe only exclusive season. Doesn't overlap with bucks. You can use crossbows. You can use cell cameras. You can use corn piles. I will do all of those things, and we'll mow them down.
Nobody.
And everybody's state goals will be met.
You watched a lot of Marvel movies as a kid, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Really?
Okay.
I'm not a big Marvel guy. Well, why? Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, because you're making some shit up.
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Hoyt.
Another year with Hoyt bows. I'm still in the aluminum. I'm shooting the AX3 this year. You're in the carbon.
RX10.
And again, man, Hoyt has just been so reliable for us year after year. Why would we go anywhere else?
Dude, I swear, they just keep making them better. You know, refining that Redworks model. And we had the honor and the privilege of getting these bows early this past season. So I think it was early November we got them in hand. Literally took it straight to the field, and I shot all 3 of my bucks last year with this RX10, and couldn't have been any happier with how it performed.
And they also keep getting simpler for us. This year we've got the XTS system from a tuning side, just a couple turns with the Allen wrench and shooting bullet holes through paper.
Get serious, get Hoyt. And we're back. Smooth. Heyo, is what I meant to say.
Yeah. Our podcast, episode 321, as Nick keeps us in line from Fowler. That's who will edit out all the bullshit before the start of the
coming
podcast.
Up on a TAC weekend here, and we're making the most of some flights in and out. So we've got some in-studio guests here that we'll turn to in a moment. But first, I will thank you guys for being here. Whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, those are 3 main platforms that we drop these episodes on. We do that every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you like, follow, or subscribe to any of our channels, it'll notify you as to when those ding. If you've written us on Instagram DM or the website, I was bragging on the last podcast. I did get back through some of these emails here finally. Mm-hmm. So if you were January through... a while ago.
Customer service is lacking a little.
Well, it's not so much service as much as it is. Yeah, it's just lip service is all it really is. But so I'm getting back through those. So thank you guys for reaching out. In the meantime, we have some Hunter merch on our website, and you guys are welcome to use code Hunter HUNTR on any of our partners' websites for a discount in some way, shape, or form. And other than that, here we go.
We coordinate this perfectly because we're about 40 minutes from the Pennsylvania TAC event, and so. We've kind of been trying to organize this podcast in person for about a year, since the last TAC, I would assume. Yeah. So we've got MFJJ, Scot Evans. Appreciate you boys being in studio today.
Appreciate y'all having us.
Yeah,
glad it worked out this way.
It did, man. It worked out really well.
I was just thinking, I was making introductions here. Yeah, MFJJ is. What other channels do you go by? Is it MFJJ across the board? What are the other channels?
Much. I think
Podium Archer.
I think
Podium Archer, people know you by.
That's the website's name.
Yep. Dude with the mohawk. Yeah. With the archery stuff, people know you from that.
That's what my mother calls him.
The dude with the mohawk? Yeah.
Well, everybody knows, but they don't know that they know. Because when I tell them MFJJ's coming on, Scott and guys, they're like, and then I'm like, the dude with the mohawk. They're like,
yeah. Maybe I just should have called myself that.
It's
the dude with mohawk.
The mohawk.
Yeah, so it's a good thing. Well, but dude, we didn't hook up until it was last year at TAC, right?
Yeah,
I think
we
shot together, and
shot together then.
Feels like a long.
Was that the first time?
Yeah.
With Bow Disciples, James, and those guys?
Yeah, that was just, doesn't that feel like 3 to 5 years ago?
Shit.
It does. It's amazing how life always feels like it goes super fast until you go back and think about it and look at it. And then all of a sudden it's like, God, that feels like forever ago.
Yeah,
but it was only a year ago.
Long ago.
We were actually talking about that in the rental car today. Yeah. Actually, tomorrow, or this shoot marks the 1 year that me and him actually met first time face to face with each other.
Yeah, we also met in person at PA TAC.
Oh, really? Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I saw you at we talked to ATA
we did.
a little bit last year, right? Or this,
after
January.
TAC, but this past ATA.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys were together there too, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are together a lot now.
Well, if we're at the same,
we're
at the
same
event, we do the same stuff, and we get
Are
along.
you also from Tennessee?
No, he's from
Georgia.
Close, but I'm a Republican. I'm from Georgia.
Okay.
Hey, it's a red state. Mind your mouth.
All right. Well, what's the relationship? Is it more than just like, taking flights together, or are you guys working?
Well, that's a
together?
pretty personal question.
Yeah, for real.
We're going to go right into it.
Well, actually, it's, I guess, to go back to the gist of it, it's kind of my girlfriend's fault because she has a big TikTok originally, and she was watching him on TikTok, and she kept trying to say I should do something with this person, and I didn't know he was, because I don't pay attention to social media for the most part. I really don't. I try to avoid it like the plague. I didn't have a social media until I started making videos on YouTube, and then I started social media. Before that, I'd ignore it. And we did a
TikTok live. It was you, me, and T-Bone.
Yeah, yeah, and it was
Of all people.
it was phenomenal conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and normally who I end up trying to gravitate to spending time with when I'm traveling and things of that nature out of this community are the people that I've had a good conversation with, that it flows really well and it was fun and enjoyable, and we seem to really like it. And then we'll usually go try to do something at an event, and if that goes really well, then that's probably who I'm going to hang with for the most part.
And see, last year at this event, we actually didn't get to hang out that much together because I was at my own Airbnb with my buddies. You were with James, and
And you're afraid of rain, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I made it sure.
You hit the
Oh,
side.
dude,
We
it
all
It
got
was
wet.
one day. No, let
It
me
was wet.
This year's going to
last
be
year.
epic. Like the
I
weather.
know.
Yeah, it's supposed to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
It'll be sloppy tomorrow because we're getting all that rain today, but then the rest of the weekend will be great.
Yeah, the vendor village was awful by Sunday.
Dude, you were just
it's a foot of mud.
buried.
You're walking through a foot of
Poor
mud.
Sean put out so much pine straw, and it just did not
Yeah.
matter.
Didn't do
They were doing
anything.
they were doing their good diligence, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, that was a wet weekend. Still had a super high attendance. I mean, that's what's crazy about, especially the PA one. I mean, it's amazing how many
Pretty
people
wild.
are
A lot of hunters up there.
flocking into this thing.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's the biggest one.
I think it is.
For sure, yeah. I'm sorry, I cut you off. How you guys were getting hooked up and
So yeah, it was we did that live, and then we actually exchanged numbers at that point and started bullshitting a little bit back and forth here and again. And then when's the first time we actually went and did something together?
You invited me on the
I invited you-
podcast.
I invited you on the
and
pod in Nashville.
That's
and
when we actually got to hang out
actually
and
hung
talk,
out
and
have
that's
rest
really
is history.
that's really about it.
That's cool.
It's not too often in the space, especially for someone who owns a shop or works in a shop, that your philosophy of how you work on a bow is identical. Like we were sitting there going back and forth over things, and I don't think we ever picked something different of how you would do this, how you would do that, how you would do that. And whenever I can find someone,
Scott's like,
yeah,
well, no. I was about to point out that there was times in that conversation I would say something, he would kind of look at me like, "Oh shit, okay,"
Yeah.
and it'd be back and forth,
yeah.
and then that's how we were like, okay, we agree on a lot of things. We run our business very similar, and we like to cut up and have a good time, and we love coming to these events and literally just shooting and having a good time. And that's why, like, we're both goofballs. Like, he didn't tell me he was flying into the Atlanta airport today that I was flying out of until he had already landed and was at my gate. He's like, "Hey, Scotty." I'm like, "What? You gonna tell me you're showing up?" And then we ended up getting on
you
the
didn't
same.
know, you knew you were coming on here today, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't
Oh,
100%
he
sure.
didn't-
There was some coordination.
He didn't know
It was
we were on
loose,
the-
but
You
he
just
didn't
thought
know
you
we
were
were
going
on
to
the
meet
same
in
flight.
Pittsburgh, basically.
Yeah.
So
I knew we were.
my connecting flight was the flight he was
Oh, that's
taking.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of goofy shit we do.
And Scott, you also have a bow shop then in Georgia, is that right? And what's your shop called?
It's called Feathers and Antlers Outdoors.
Awesome. And you started that, you run it, you operate it. How long have you been in business?
Going on 11 years.
Oh, wow.
Me and my family. Yep.
You and your family. So you have family members that work at the business too, or?
Yep. Mama Evans, Papa Evans, my sister, and then I got Big Joe and a couple other part timers.
Oh, wow.
That's cool, man.
How does that work out? What's the family dynamic like there?
Pretty good. Mom and the sister stay at home and do all the computer work there. My
Okay.
dad's retired from being an international contractor, so he really just shows up and does whatever he wants, and as a retired man should. And the rest of it's just up to me and the workers to make sure we get the right products in there and sell stuff and keep making a living, keep growing the business.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say that you guys are kind of unique in that, really your online presence is, taking off for both of you guys, but having a local bow shop, right? And so that's probably one thing that I think people listening to this or watching or are thinking is like, how does that affect your business locally, being that both of you, I think, are recognized more from a national standpoint even?
The amount of people, and I think you'll attest to this, the amount of people that walk up to both of us at these events, and this isn't being arrogant, this is factual, and say, "We love both of your content." They mostly come to him for in-depth, detailed information because he is in-depth, he is detailed. I provide information, but I also provide comedy at the same time because I believe that if you're going to enjoy this sport, you need to laugh at the content that people put out, because if you're not going to laugh and have a good time, you're going to stay out of the sport and you're going to drop out of college like I did because of stupid teachers that weren't funny. And that's why people come up and say, "Love your stuff for your comedy information, love you for all the testing and the reviews," and they love both of us for our honest reviews, because guess what? We're not bought and paid for. We are paying to market these
Right.
products for these companies, so we're allowed to have a factual opinion, and that's something that is hard to find, in my opinion.
I would say so. I mean, do you think that locally, the way that you guys have approached this thing from a content standpoint, it's driving business?
Oh, sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of our businesses are growing a lot.
That's
Like,
awesome.
A lot. But the reality of it is, and what I was trying to get at from kind of drilling him a little bit to understand what he does when he works on a bow, right? If I find somebody in this space that I think is doing it correctly, like, and working on a bow correctly, I'm going to endorse and encourage that person and get other people to use that person, because I do truly want you to go buy it at your local shop. I don't want you to be enamored by whatever I've created and be like, this is so awesome, I want to see this. I mean, that's great, and I love that. That's awesome, but you need the support of your local person. And if I can find the local guys that really know what they're doing and are doing it correctly, I am going to do what I can to help their platform.
Yep.
And vice versa, right?
Yeah.
He feels the
100%.
same way. I know
Yeah.
he does.
What do you guys feel like are some of those foundations? So, like, you'll find over the course of this conversation, Jeremy and I are not archery experts by any means. It's like we've been shooting very similarly set up bows for a long time. I myself been going to the same bow shop here in Holiday Park. It's called Ultimate Outdoors since I was like 10 years old. And I don't know if they're doing it right, but I just know that, I've been shooting it the way that they've set it up for me for
22 years.
22 years now, And so you could say maybe I've gotten even a little lazy, like in terms of like teaching myself how to work on my own stuff here, because I can so confidently go to those guys and they know what I want, and we do that. My question is, what do you guys think? What are some of those foundational things that you think that you guys are, is the foundation you connect on and that you think other people are like maybe missing?
Well, quite frankly, it's not complicated. I mean, you time your bow, period, always, no matter what. You set your knock height at 0, unless there's something functionally wrong with the bow. You put soft knots around your knock before you tie a D-loop on it. You move the cam. You don't move the arrow rest if you can avoid it in any which way, shape, or form. The type of spine that you would typically use, the direction of those things, it's like it was the same. So I'm like, all right, you understand how this bow actually works as opposed to the original parameter rules that you're given by a brand or other. If you're points left through paper, move your rest to the left. If your points right, move it right. No, you're moving the cam around to do that. And it's not more complicated than that. It isn't.
Yeah. So Josh, does that come from, where did you guys learn how to work on bows? Is that things that come from the factory? Is it just things from you guys tinkering over the years?
For me, I couldn't get good answers. I'm 47. I've been working on bows since I was like 7 years old. I've been working in a shop since I was 11. You didn't get good answers. You get, do this. And I would say, okay, why am I moving my arrow rest to the left? Like,
You ask questions.
I would ask questions and they couldn't answer them, and that drove me nuts. So
From the shop,
rather than
the shop owners. Wouldn't
yeah. So
why do you think they're protective or just not wanting to teach?
no, I don't think they knew. I think they were
Didn't
told
know.
what to do, and then they passed that on to the next
Replicate
person.
it.
And I couldn't accept that answer. It wasn't good enough for me. And so when I graduated high school, and from like 18 to 20, I had nothing to do outside of work, and I lived 8 blocks from my shop. So I would stay at the shop late at night and start moving things around and try to figure out what was causing what, until I eventually figured out how to tune a bow correctly and what the manipulations were, cause and effect of when you did this or when you did that, to where I can answer those questions rather than saying, this is what you do. And like, no, this is what you do, and this is why you do it, because this is how it's reacting differently and what's causing it.
Did you say you were 7 years old when you started working at that shop?
Yeah, well, I was fletching arrows for my dad when I was 7.
Did
For
your dad
the shop.
work at the shop?
My dad owned it.
Okay.
So my dad owned a general sporting goods store that had an archery pro shop in it.
In Spokane?
In Spokane, Washington. Downtown Spokane, Washington. It was like in a good location and everything. It was like the equivalent of a Cabela's or whatnot.
What was it called?
Outdoor Sportsman.
Okay.
Yeah, and that went on till I was 19, I think, when we actually shut that down. But from the time I could drive till then, I ran the archery pro shop while I was in high school. And it was all my baby. And it grew 30 to 40% a year over year for like 3 years straight. And when everything else was getting difficult, we were getting more businesses coming into town and losing a percentage of our workwear sales, losing a percentage of our ammunition sales, losing a percentage of our optics sales, right? Because there was other places to buy it, and more and more and more. I think we had a Cabela's coming into town. We had Gart Sports back in the time. I think we had 2 of those coming to
Just
town.
leached away those other
The
sectors.
our North 40s, which would be like the equivalent of Tractor Supply, branched into outdoor wear and things like that. So every one of them was taking 2% of your sales or 3% of your sales. Well, you had 6 or 7 of them, you lost 30% of your sales. Your went from profitable to losing money.
Yep.
So
good.
what he just said, and don't mean to cut you off
You're good.
before we get too far down the rabbit hole. You heard what he said about wanting to be able to answer customers' questions. This is what you do. This is how you fix it. This is why. That's the difference between a shop that sells a product and a shop that sells an experience.
Okay.
Because if you walk into some shops, and I've heard about plenty of them, I know you have, there's, I'll just say it, Bass Pro Shop. You walk in, and they'll sell you a product, which is fine if that customer's okay with that. Probably set it to your draw length, don't know where the D-loop is, don't know if it's set right, and definitely know the peep height's not correct. As long as that customer's okay with it, that's all he's going to get. But if you ask somebody, hey, my bow's a little spongy on the back wall, and they don't know anything about timing, that's the difference between selling a product and selling an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys go into a lot of bow shops these days, like just different shops?
I like going into bow shops when I can. I like seeing how other shops are set up, actually.
Yeah, no, I'd love to, especially if I have time. But I frequently do not have time.
I'm curious just what the experience is like nowadays. Like I said, I've been going to the same shop and only that shop for 20 some years. I wonder if most shop owners at this point are jaded by everybody knowing everything, or if they're standoffish, if they're eager still to teach.
I'd even say complacent. Like, are they just to your point of kind of being told what, or even selling product? Are they just
Are they burnt out because they don't get to hunt Novembers anymore because they're selling crossbows all of November?
That's a valid one.
Okay.
I think what you're probably going to experience in 9 out of 10 shops is they don't carry hardly anything. So you can't typically just walk in there and get something while you wait.
Right.
And that's the difference between the
ordering
really
on
successful,
demand, basically.
the really successful 10% of archery businesses versus the 90% that struggle.
Because they carry the stuff and
carrying the product.
Yeah.
In order to carry the product, you have to put money into your building and your product mix to be able to house it and hold it. And most of them won't or don't have the money to do it. Or
You got to be able to move it too once you have it.
Yeah, well, but the point is you would move it if you did have it.
Yeah.
You're not moving it because you don't have it. And that you could get away with that 15 years ago. Like, it was commonplace from my experience. Like, we kept losing shops in the West more and more and more because there's not as many hunting opportunities. There's not as many hunters. So it's harder to support a shop in the West. If you can have an archery pro shop in the Western United States and it thrives, you have a rare beast.
Wow.
Like, it's very, very hard to do. Especially, like, for example, in the state of Washington, you have to pick what weapon you hunt with, period. And you can only hunt with that weapon. So, like, by choosing to shoot a bow, you can't hunt rifle season or muzzleloader season.
So you're all in.
So you're all in, period. And that's true for elk and deer in the state of Washington. So that limits a lot of people. You lose a lot of percentage of people that could be your customer, your clientele. So it's an even smaller pool to draw from, right? So it's really, really hard to make a living in the
I would
West.
think so, especially in Washington.
West.
How many bow hunters are there?
Statewide, I think it's 30,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but because of the fact that I started doing this direction and path over 10 years ago. Like, I think I bought my dad out, I want to say 14 or 15 years ago, and I immediately shifted how I was doing things and what I was going to do and how I was going to run it different. I started doing an online store, and I started carrying a wider variety of products, and every dollar that I made went directly back into the business, and I lived on peanuts for a long time.
Yeah.
So I could grow my inventory, so I could stop saying, no, I don't have that, but I can order it, because I would watch people walk in the store, scan it, like ask for the item, check the price online, and leave.
Yeah.
Constantly. It happened all the time. I was very aware of it. You're buying that. And then that same guy'd come back 3 days later and asked me to install this arrow rest that I didn't carry, that he wanted, that I told him not to buy. And, like, I need to stop telling him not to buy it. I just need to carry it. But the margin was worse and it was harder to turn it. So the only way you could functionally really carry all that stuff and turn it was to sell it online. So you were moving more units. Right. So if you need to carry a certain amount of X to have it make sense, you got to figure out how to make those things move every 30 days or you're not going to make a living.
So, Josh, do you identify and Scott, forgive me, I'm going to separate the two shops here in conversations a little bit, I guess. Are you running an online store there as well?
Oh, yeah.
You are? Okay. And are they both, would you call them predominantly bow shops? Is that the...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And above and beyond?
He has a little bit of variety beyond it, more than I do, but it's
the only other thing, he is 100% archery. We sell a lot of clothing as well. Sitka, Drake, Badlands. We do a lot of clothing. And then we have a top-tier bass fishing section as well because we have a lot of tournament fishing.
I was going to say, that's more of where you're at, general area.
Yeah, but online sales, archery, it destroys all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big, small, physical location? Like, is it...
It's I just moved into a new location. I think I'm at 5,500 square foot.
Okay.
Half of that's inventory, half of that's floor space.
Uh-huh.
because
so that's a pretty good size shop.
And because of the online sales, that's why I had to move into this place for more inventory. Space. I had a 500 square foot inventory room. Now I have about 2,500 square foot just for online sales.
I would imagine it's a very small percentage of bow shops that are like making that transition into online stores. I don't know for sure, but I would venture to say my bow shop probably is not. They're kind of set in their ways,
The reality of our future and what it really looks like in this path, honestly, if you don't, you're probably not going to make it. Because like it or not, we're going to get to a point that the things that we're not allowed to sell online, they're going to let you sell them.
For sure. That's just where society's at.
And when that happens, the people that don't stock product are going to go out of business. Because you're no longer going to have to wait for something.
Yep.
Or have to make a commitment to drive to Scotty or me, right? Or get on a plane and fly to me. Which it's always fun to take the wife to Nashville. It's a lot of fun. It's a good place to come by. That was part of the logic of where the location was.
Cool place to hang out.
Most people want to see it. Right?
Jelly Rolls Bar is a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
It's good. It's a good time. But the reality that you're going to be able to get it without waiting is going to wreck 90% of the shops, and that's part of why I'm trying to be supportive of other stores. Like he's directly a competitor to me.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask. Like in theory,
why are you helping
us, right?
No, it's factual.
No, either way. I mean, we're only 4 hours apart.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
My circle in Washington is 15 hours.
Yeah,
like people will drive 15 hours to come to my store.
Yeah,
because nobody has anything.
There isn't,
right?
Yeah.
So he's well within.
So you guys are
he's well within a competitive circle. Yeah. He really is.
I drive an hour to ours. I pass 2 or 3 on the way there.
Yeah. Yep. But the proof of what I'm saying and why I'm saying it when I'm saying go support your local pro shop, I'm supporting and endorsing a direct competitor to me that's within my parameter of business, but he does his business correctly, and you need a local pro shop. So go buy it from him. Don't buy it from me. That's the reality. And I guarantee by trying to help him and put him on some of my platforms and vice versa, he has a very large TikTok.
Sorry, we got all our
you're good.
stuff.
Don't worry about it. You're totally fine.
It's just Tabasco.
It's totally fine. I just opened it.
For another one.
Go get in there. Yeah. I guarantee I'm losing a percentage of my business to him, right? To the people that like what he does and want to support what he does. But I believe in that. If he can provide something that they like indifferent than what I like, they should support him. It's the reality of it. But if all I really cared about was trying to make the most money, why in the world would I do that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want that. I want shops to survive, the good ones.
Well, that's I guess where my fear is, and I'm at the same bow shop Jared is now, obviously just because we go together a lot and we know those guys now and have a good relationship, but
mainly because I have to take his bow from here and say I'm going to drop this off for you.
You're going to the bow shop, take mine.
Oh, you're that guy.
I'm the leading the charge. I'll get this taken care of for you.
I'll go pick it up.
Oh, you need arrows made too?
I'll go pick it up. But I just look at the landscape, I would assume for a lot of the bow shops, it's an aging demographic, right, of who the owners are. And I look at you guys from like a newer generation using technology, using content and things like that. And I don't see that very often out there. No. So I think probably to Jared's point earlier, it's like, where do you see just the dealer base going? I mean, does it end up consolidating to where there's like a few national? Can I tack is that what it is?
Can I tack this to your question here? And I didn't necessarily intend for it to go this way, but like the underlying, I would say necessity for dealers is service, right? Like that's the main reason that we need to
service and product.
So.
Yeah, exclusive to the dealer.
In the same way that those things you're not allowed to sell online, eventually you are allowed to sell. I would say the products eventually get to a point where you're able to service them yourself, ? And the service becomes not as big of a factor.
So, I mean, the easily adjustable tuning systems and relatively simple stringing interchange systems does allow for that, but the reality of why you still need the pro shop and why it's still really important. A guy that's been doing it for 15 years that really knows his shit doesn't. I think we can all agree on that, right?
But he doesn't what? I'm sorry.
He doesn't need a pro shop.
If he really knows what he's doing, right, then he really doesn't need it. Right. But that's not the majority of people.
No.
The majority of people, if they don't have that, they're not going to get fitted correctly. Right. And the reason why they haven't allowed them to be sold online is because if that bow doesn't fit you right, the peep's in the wrong spot, and it's not tuned correctly.
It
shoots like shit, and you blamed the bow.
Yeah, absolutely.
You didn't blame the guy who built the bow. You blamed the bow. Yeah. So that's why they've done that. Now, if we can get to a point, and I think they're working their way here, and I'm sure Scotty will agree with this, that you can tell. and that we're explaining it to you and showing it to you, and here's how it works, and here's why it works, and here's how you check it, right? So if you can get to a point that you can check every bow and you can make those adjustments, then the only thing you really need a shop for is to make sure it fits you correctly and your peep's in the right spot so you're not fighting it.
I mean, dude, what else do we buy in stores at this? I honestly was tracking it loosely just because it was interesting to me, but like the last one that I can remember, and this was years ago, was boots, like shoes and boots. I was like, well, you always have to try those on. Like, you always buy those in a shop. But sure enough, over time, the return policy got so much better. The content they could put on their website so that I could make sure it would fit and it was what I want. The reviews are there. I could do all of it. Surely it's a matter of, groceries, even within the past couple, these things that's like, I used to go to the store, vehicles. What do you go to the store for? Why do stores even exist? I mean, obviously they are out there, and there's still Bubba's that buys a lot of stuff from Cabela's, Bass Pro, all that. But we're with you. We see it kind of going that way as well. But we also love dealers, and we want to support it. So it's like, what does that look like?
Well, the dealers that actually stock product and know what they're doing will make it the one and have some kind of an online source. So it's another option for you to actually purchase from. If you don't have an online store of your products, and it doesn't have to be elaborate, it just has to be enough that, hey, here's your local such and such, and here's his inventory, and you can purchase it. Even if you purchase it and go down and pick it up, you just know he has it or he ships it to you. Those ones will make it.
So that is just an emphasis, I would say, on product and online e-commerce ability, not so much a service.
I assume that's relationships with the manufacturer too, right?
Sure.
You're not, if a manufacturer is like, hey,
that's pretty good.
You're able to sell this as a quote authorized dealer versus like anybody can sell it type of thing.
Yeah, but an authorized dealer anymore is a pretty loose term. I think Scott would agree.
I concur.
Yeah, there's probably, honestly, I don't know how high of a number I want to take here, but I would say 7 out of 10 shops probably shouldn't have equipment.
So you know what it takes to be an authorized dealer for most brands? Distance from other dealers. And
just the buffer.
And a pulse. Yep.
That's all I thought it was.
Reseller permit.
Do what?
Gotta have reseller permit.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, you need to be able to collect taxes and whatnot for whatever you're doing. But like most
But
of
other than that, they're like, okay, nobody's within 30 miles. They filled out a dealer application, approved.
Credit app.
Yeah. Approved.
Yeah.
What is that pertain? Is that mainly bows? Is it other categories?
It's currently
Sights
no. Currently, about the only thing you can't ship is a hunting bow, and in some instances, just the high end ones
can't ship because the bow companies say so.
Bow companies say no.
A flagship hunting bow from most major
and that's to
companies,
protect the dealer base.
Yeah,
regions.
that's to protect the dealers.
What do you guys think of that? I mean, does that make sense that they do that, or
I think it's going to go away.
Okay,
I do.
But I mean, to what we were talking about earlier, you still want that person to come into a educated shop to set up. Otherwise, the bow's going to shoot like shit. Therefore, they're going to blame the bow.
I do, and that's why I'm saying you better stock product, or you're not going to be part of that pool when that happens. Because there's always going to be a percentage of people that do not want to wait, and the percentage is higher every year because we've been created and cultured into the society that says I'm going to click 2 buttons and it's going to show up at my house tomorrow.
Yep.
Right.
Well, why would you
can't provide that?
Other than like out of respect to your bow shop guy, which most people don't. I mean,
you're still gonna have to.
How many people really have that relationship?
Up.
You do right now.
We're getting to the point that you could probably watch 5 YouTube videos and put your bow together on half of them.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, very fair.
Half of them and half of them you really don't need a bow press for.
Not on Scotty's channel, but
he does some. Mine's just a little more in depth.
100%.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is they're all going that way, and there's only a couple left that haven't, and it doesn't hurt that those ones aren't selling well.
Yeah.
Like the reality of the ones that are kind of refusing to adopt this philosophy, their sales are down.
They're falling off. Yeah.
When your biggest sellers of bows have all adopted this philosophy, you better get on board or you're not going to sell bows. And once that passes that threshold, there's really no barrier to allowing somebody to be able to work on their own bow, which is what I've been saying for 10 years. Like, you need to understand how to work on your own bow.
And we encourage people to work on their own bows because that gets them obviously more educated. They understand how it works, and it gets them more into the sport, so they want to spend more money and spend more time in the sport.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, when did you get into archery? You said 22 years ago.
Yeah, when I was coming on 12 is when you can hunt in Pennsylvania. So just before that.
Really? Okay. Y'all have laws here?
Yeah.
It's younger now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they're loose. More than West Virginia, but
same as the dating. Yeah, got
Yeah.
the 12 or
Yeah.
No, that's West Virginia.
yeah.
You're in the wrong state.
Maybe 20 minutes that way.
Little south.
But the whole point of it is when somebody gets into the sport, they have a decent experience, or at least what they think is a decent experience with the setup, and it's really up to the shop to make sure they have a better experience. And if they don't do that, then they're not going to stay in the sport.
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Predator Camo.
That's right, man. Predator Camo. We've been rocking that stuff for, a little over 10 years, a full decade now. It's kind of hard to believe, but we stepped away, a year or two, tried some different stuff over the years, but at the end of it, we always come back to Predator Camo.
Yeah, and even in reflecting back on this season, like I started off the season in spring green, killed that elk. You killed all 3 of your bucks, I think, in the fall brown, which has kind of made its return back to the lineup. It's been dependable, and it's funny when you know that you're in a stand and the deer is looking at you, but it's looking through you. It's a completely different feeling.
They have some new stuff. So, they went through an ownership change a couple of years ago and had the opportunity to give them some feedback. And I think we're getting ready to see the results of all of that coming out this July in some all-new apparel lines.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were able to see it at ATA. I know some of you guys might have been able to see it at some other shows, but it's awesome. And anyone listening to this, when it goes live in July, can use the code HUNTER, HUNTR, and use that for a discount on Predator Camo, as well as during the spring here. If you're looking for turkey stuff and want to get spring green, same discount code on PredatorCamo.com.
Don't blend in, break out.
Let me ask you, do you think that this sport is growing right now?
No.
Really?
I do not.
Okay.
I think it's even. I think it's flat.
I'm really not sure, so that's why I'm asking.
I think it dipped from COVID, so I think we're down from our peak because the year of COVID was the best year archery will ever have, and it's been in a bit of a decline since then, but not a drastic one.
Yeah.
I think we're maintaining the number of people. The average age of a bow hunter has gone up 1 year every year. Like I've watched it. ATA would cover it.
What is it?
It's like 47.
Average age of a bow hunter is 47 or 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is way
Which
younger
means-
than the average hunter.
And that's all. That's crossbows, archery, the whole gamut.
However ATA refers to refer.
That
That
includes
would be-
crossbows.
So
for
ATA
sure.
would say crossbows.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say that. But yeah, that means you're sustaining. You're
I don't
not
know that I
shrinking.
would say without crossbows it's
No.
drastically different. I don't think that it would be, but
I don't know.
Without
like in states-
crossbows?
Yeah.
Oh, I think
it's down for sure without crossbows.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you
What
take
is down?
crossbows,
archery.
all volume.
no. I'm just saying the average age.
Well, yeah, you're the largest.
If the
growing
average age including crossbows is 47, 48, I'll bet it's similar without crossbows.
I disagree.
What do you think?
The fastest growing group of people using archery equipment are crossbows, and it's the teens in the early 20s.
Oh, so you think it's
Well, because they started with it, right? As an adult and as a kid, and you want to get them out there and you want to get them in the field. I can hand a 6-year-old a crossbow.
so you think the
Cock it
average
for 'em
age
and
of
shoot it.
archers excluding crossbows is higher
I
than
think it's
older.
probably in the 50s without it.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably in the 50s.
Yeah.
without it,
Which if I was inclined to agree
We're-
in either direction, it would be that direction.
we're aging out.
Yeah.
We're not getting, and that's really part of the bigger problem with crossbows is we're not getting the young people to use a bow. And the main issue with that in states that allow both is we're not incentivizing them to use a bow.
Sure.
Right.
There's not a better season for it. There's not a separation
Why
between the
would you?
seasons. Like why would anyone
You're an
use
idiot not to hunt with a crossbow.
Why would anyone use a muzzleloader if there wasn't a muzzleloader
right.
season?
Nobody would.
Right? And I grew up from a time, and I've probably said this 100 times. I grew up from a time when traditional was just as popular as compound.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of you probably aren't aware of that, but it was equal. Like you'd go to a shoot, and half the participants were shooting a recurve or longbow, and half the participants were shooting a compound.
When was that, Josh? Roughly.
Like my 7-8, so 85, 86,
Yeah.
87.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It was
Compounds
50-50.
hadn't made that.
About right in the early 90s, about
It
where
was
it took over. Huh?
50-50, and by 2000, it was 95%, 5%.
Yeah.
And the only there's 2 reasons that happened. Both groups decided to talk down to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no legislation to incentivize the use of a traditional bow over a compound.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Agree.
the only reason that happened,
Yep.
right? So now fast forward to today. Both groups talk down to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no incentive to use one over the other.
Mm-hmm.
They're not incentivized to use a vertical bow over a horizontal bow. 0. So what happens?
We're
We're going to be the 5%.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
away. Or 5%.
Unless we do something about it.
There are a few states that have incentives. Kentucky being one that you
Yeah,
can't.
Kentucky-
you
Kentucky's
can't
doing
use,
it right.
You can't use crossbows to the second or third week of the season,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're a youth.
What do you think, Josh? I mean, you're saying Okay, I agree with you on the two, common factors. You talk about doing something. I mean, what do you think?
I think that the way Kentucky's doing it is the best one I've seen.
Agree.
I've said that for years.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think-
legislature, you got to incentivize the use of it.
It's all legislature, and the funny part is it.
Don't you think we're going the other way on that? Though? I mean, they're
currently
we are.
Currently they are because they don't care and they're not thinking about it. But at the end of the day, they don't care because we're not getting mad at them.
Mm-hmm.
We're not focusing our frustration on our legislature.
I am.
Well, thank you.
For
Great.
sure.
Phenomenal. Awesome.
We're trying.
But the thing that...
But it is only one issue amongst others as well.
Right, right.
There's other
And
things.
it's how many people are really frustrated about it. There's way more people that are frustrated about a tax on their gas than they are about that. Right. But so as a group, we have to get way more vocal and way bigger about it. It has to be more important. It has to be brought to the forefront of thought unless you want to be the weird 5% that nobody really pays attention to anymore, because that's where we're going.
What do you think, Josh, of, I would say currently, we
are the
vertical archers
minority
are the minority, probably by a lot.
in some states. Ohio being one.
I would say nationwide. It's got to be what, 70, 30 crossbow?
Because it's not legal everywhere. Like so understand, I came here a year and a half
Where's it
ago.
not legal?
Iowa.
Washington, Idaho, Oregon, Montana,
Iowa.
Western states.
California. Yeah, which is a good portion of the country. It's not the populace, but it's a good portion
Not
of
the
the country.
populace by a long shot.
Oh, I
right?
know. Hey, 90% of the bow hunters are east of the Mississippi River. That's
Yeah.
why I've got a shop in Nashville, Tennessee, because it's in the middle
you're
of that.
smart. Yep.
It's in the middle of that, right? And I didn't know how bad of a problem this was until I came down here. And then I started
'Cause, yeah,
seeing
it
it.
Yeah,
wasn't
you know why I
common where
quit carrying crossbows.
Yeah. And
Did
it's-
you?
It's so
What's
it's,
that?
Really?
it's-
Oh, you didn't see that Instagram
What'd you
post?
No.
It was a good one.
Who quit? Sorry.
He did.
You
He
quit
doesn't
carrying
carry
crossbows?
anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
And it's not because I dislike crossbows. It's because of the lack of commitment, paying attention, and you're going to keep breaking this product. And because you bought it from me, you're going to expect me to fix it for free every time, and I have to resell the product every time that I make less margin on than a vertical bow. I'm over it. See, Georgia doesn't have any crossbow laws. You can, as soon as early archery season comes in,
Wide open.
you can start using a crossbow and use it all the way through the season.
Do you think purely from a business standpoint that you're making that decision covers the margin that you'll lose by not selling them, or do you think you'll take a loss by doing that?
No, I am no longer losing money because
Really?
with the margins
shit.
because with the money
That many people are breaking their crossbows.
It's not just that. You make less money on them, less margin.
you make less margin, but also on top of that, if myself or one of my employees who I pay very well has to spend an hour with the same person 3 or 4 times throughout the year to fix the same product,
Is that user or manufacturer issues?
that is user
User.
error,
Yeah.
99.99% of it. I wish it was manufacturer error because I can fix that.
You can't
Sure,
charge.
I
You
was
can't
gonna
charge
say-
them for that repeat service, though. I mean, that's a.
No, he
you-
has to, and then he's the bad guy. And that's
Yeah,
the whole
absolutely.
point. No
So
different than
I'm the bearer of bad news. I'm the one delivering you your divorce
and they usually
papers.
think it's not their fault.
Of course they do.
Really?
Nobody's going to take
Let me ask
blame
you
and
this,
say
'cause
they messed it up.
I've heard that a lot.
I
that
bet
bows
this is
are
going to be on
blown
a
up.
short clip.
What are guys doing to break their crossbows? Like we hear about them blowing up all the time.
So
and-
here's the deal with my experience with crossbows. So I did sell everything from a $500 package deal to a $4,000 package deal crossbow.
Okay.
Garmin 10-point,
Yep.
10 yards, Ravens. I've sold them all. I've worked them all because we were or still are technically a service center. So I get to fix everything
Right.
that's wrong with them. And I'm sorry, what was your question again? I just zoned out.
I don't know. I had forgotten.
You
I was
done
letting
got me on the
you roll with
crossbow. You done got me on the crossbow thing. We were talking about margins and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, if I have to resell and refix, and
What are the issues? That was what it was.
Oh, the
what are
issues.
the main issues that
you're
why
right.
people are breaking them?
so the more expensive a crossbow is, I tell people it's like a high-end car. You're getting more features. You have to pay attention more. It's going to cost more money to maintenance. People think that the more money you spend on a crossbow, the more deadly it is. The deader is going to kill the deer, and the less I have to pay attention to. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Most of it's going to be a cocking device. A lot of it's going to be not loading the bolt properly and partially dry firing. And I don't know what happened. Well, why do you smell like alcohol? That's usually what a lot of it is. People just getting together. Look what I got.
Boom,
I just
gone.
blew it up. Oh, cool thing to show your buddies. And then they bring it back. Well, I bought this from you. I spent all this money with you. Well, you spent a lot of money with me, but you don't understand how little of that money I get to keep.
Right.
And so now to try to keep that guy's business,
You've got to do them a favor, basically.
I gave up last year, halfway through the year. I was like, you know what? I'll take a half-star Google review. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's the negative. Is even if you do everything you can to help the person in the best way you can, there's still a good possibility they're going to speak poorly of you when it's done. And it's only because you have to be a representative of the brand, of the product that's most likely to fail, that the person doesn't want to blame themselves over. And they're not calling Raven or 10 Point.
No,
and
because they didn't buy it directly from them.
No, they're blaming you. Right at the end of the day,
Because
and there's
they
no way
can look
around
at
that.
me like I'm looking at you.
Yeah, and a good percentage of modern compounds, vertical bows today, won't blow up when you fire it without narrowing it, or when you make a mistake. Some will, some won't, but there's a good possibility if you do it once, it's probably still okay.
Do you think it's also the user though? I mean,
It's always
I pick on we pick on
95%
crossbow
Are we
guys again.
circling the statement that crossbow hunters are stupid? Is that what you're saying?
They're gun hunters.
No, hold on, time out. I'll give you a great example of that. So last year, one part of my antelope group, Pappy's the older gentleman in our antelope group, fell off a horse on top of a mountain, broke his ribs. Applied for a disabled permit because he couldn't pull his bow back.
Sure.
In the state of Idaho, and you can use it if you're disabled.
Understandable.
Right? So I grab one from my shop in Nashville as I'm flying back to Spokane, go over to my cousin's house, and try to roughly sight it in. So we have it kind of pointed in the right direction before we go down to camp and let him shoot it a little bit. So we'll bring a target and all that down to camp. And the 9th shot, I broke it. I wasn't paying attention. We were moving back and forth in his expedition, Polaris expedition, and I had the windshield open, and I was setting it on it with a bag on it for shooting it, and I moved a little too close to the little piston that holds the window up, and smacked the piston, broke the piston, put a big old ding in the cam, and if I would have cycled it back again, I would have cut the string. And that's me. All right, and I was 9-10 arrows in. That was clearly my fault. How many people are going to feel like that's their fault? Well, it should be able to take that, right? Well,
Should be under warranty.
That's it. I was going to say
it's going to be covered in what. And here's the aggravating thing. In my experience, there's little to no support from the manufacturer,
especially when it gets busy season.
Why are the margins so small? Just profitability from them. They think that they have it covered in the market.
They got to pay. They got lobbyists to pay. Buddy.
They do.
One company in particular has the market covered, and they know.
And so they know. So they can put the squeeze.
Yeah. Well, and the reality of it is, if he doesn't carry it, they're just going to order it online and buy it anyway.
And that is perfectly fine. Send it back to them.
Yeah, exactly. And
so that removes the liability on your end. You don't feel obligated to they didn't buy it there.
Yeah, if they didn't buy it from him, they can't come back.
You can still make money on servicing it.
Are most of those companies selling direct now?
Well, if they're, I'm pretty sure they all are, but if there aren't, there's multiple places you can buy it.
And they're in every box store.
Right.
They're in every box.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the point? And I get why he took the hard stance on it. I'm not there yet. I'm still allowing it. I'm still dealing with it. I'm still doing it.
How much of your business is it?
Well, so it's only my first year. It's a small percentage, but it'll grow.
Do you mean sales or service?
Sales.
It's a small percentage.
Because isn't our bow shop highly?
I don't know the split, but I would imagine it probably reflects the ratio of crossbow to archery hunters in the state of Pennsylvania, like in this area.
High.
I think it's over 50%, if I had to guess.
That's why
I don't know if I would believe that, and I only say that from the standpoint of there's so many different places to buy that crossbow that he couldn't get all that business where they've got to come buy the bow.
They may be bringing it in.
Right. So I'm willing to bet you it's 80-20.
That's fair.
Okay.
And if you're in there, 80% archery, 20% crossbow is probably their overall annual volume, because those things don't sell until November.
Yep.
I'll tell you what my guys told me, because I've been going there since I was 10, and so I've built a good relation, and I want to see them enjoy hunting, and so I'm always like, I'm bringing my racks in. I go in twice a year, and I just spend as much time with them, and I overpay them and stuff. And I'm like, you guys got anything on the books, or you think about something for next? No. And then so last year they told me, they're like, we used, back in the day, we used to be able to by the time November rolled around, everybody was in the woods. Everybody's, out doing their thing. We'd already serviced all the bows. Now they're like, from November 1st or whenever the start date is, literally through the end of November, nonstop crossbow sales. They come in, they want to buy it, and they want to hunt today. I'm hunting tomorrow. Hunt tomorrow night.
Yep.
And they want you to.
Can you set me up?
And they want you to bore sight their crossbow for them.
Oh yeah.
Ever been asked that? I swear to God.
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
We do it, but we charge for it.
Yeah.
We'll do it and we'll charge for it.
Yeah, for people wondering, that's actually a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the setups they have for them now are ridiculous. Like, you get it zeroed, you get the right velocity on it. Here's your tape out to 80 yards, and it's going to be. I've been really tempted to make this video with Becky, because she's never shot one, right? and she doesn't have a ton of experience at all, right? Shoot against me. Like, here's a brand new crossbow.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it sighted in, and then let's go shoot a 3D course, and we'll see who wins. And I bet you money she beats me.
Yeah.
And she's never shot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and to try to turn around and say this is the same weapon is retarded.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not the same weapon.
That's why you said you can give it to a 6-year-old.
I like to think we're past that conversation, but maybe
we're not. Though.
When your state legislature says they're the same thing, they go in the same season.
Therefore, they're under the same law. That's the hardest part. Is like to the point of Kentucky, they don't have it under the same jurisdiction. Therefore, they can define it as different seasons. Most of these states, once they define it as law archery.
Yeah,
you're screwed.
That is retarded. Saying that they are the same thing and considered that by law, like clearly they are not. And nobody with a brain looking at them and seeing them
that's all lobbyists, though. That's lobbyist work at play right there.
Yeah.
To make money.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And the couple $1 million they invest in a lobbyist to get it passed at the state level transpires into hundreds of millions in sales.
Okay, but here's an interesting little side note to think about. What's the long-term action of this? Okay, we're already seeing states where it's legal turning into half of the hunting population, or more, depending on where you're at. Right?
Yep.
Because of why do you think?
Because it doesn't require any practice.
So why is there less people?
There's not less people.
Isn't that what you said?
No. Archery's kind of
archery is relatively flat.
Plateau.
I think right, and
down from COVID,
and a percentage. Now, keep in mind, a percentage of people are going to commit to that because they know they're not going to practice. The same guy who shouldn't have been bow hunting in the first place, right?
Right.
But the long-term play of this, right, is I think a large percentage of the crossbow community currently, which I shouldn't call it a community, let's call it an industry, because archery is a community, crossbow is an industry. They're different.
Agreed.
And I have a very strong philosophy that we're not in an industry. I know people call it the archery industry. It's not. It's the archery community. Okay. We share goods with each other. We trade things for other things. And yeah, there's money involved and whatnot, but we're a community of people, and we've agreed on such, and that's why I could have done a lot of things that would have made me a lot more money than what I'm doing today. It's because of this community that I stayed here, because I felt I could make a difference in it, and that was more important to me than any money I could make. The worry is the crossbow person currently is most likely an adept of someone that was an archer, whether it's their kid, their grandfather, they age out and they can't pull their bow back anymore, so they're using a crossbow. A large percentage of those are that. How many of them don't ever leave that? That's the worry.
Mm-hmm.
And if that slowly erodes compound archery to where it's no longer a thing, because it's a pretty significant thing today. If that slowly erodes it to where it's nothing, does hunting with that equipment just go away altogether? Because how did they end up shooting a crossbow to begin with? Someone who was passionate about archery suggested, let's try this, right? If that person's no longer there, how is
where's the motivator?
Where's the motivator?
Well,
so I think it's an end game of loss across the board. 50 to 100 years from now, if we don't incentivize the usage of both pieces of equipment. And now you've got a tax incentive from the state. One, that guy might buy 2 pieces of equipment instead of 1. He might buy a crossbow and a regular compound, right? And then you get a charge sales tax on that.
Let me ask you this, Josh. What's the problem? Why is it a problem that a majority of folks are hunting with crossbows during the archery season?
It'll end modern compound archery over time.
As you could look back and say, it's essentially done it with traditional.
It's done it with traditional, right?
Why was that a problem? Why is this a problem?
Well, this is a problem because I believe the core crux of why they're shooting something with an arrow to begin with is because of archery and because of the uses of archery over time. And I think it'll erode completely away altogether. If it's legal everywhere and the rules are that way everywhere, it will disintegrate it. And then they'll be shooting a muzzleloader or they'll be shooting a rifle.
Like, am I interpreting that correctly in essence to say, like, it's not archery essentially, and so it's not connecting you to why we got into archery in the first place? Yeah.
I mean, archery is a martial art.
I would agree with that.
Crossbows aren't. Like
crossbows are a subspecies of archery that should be limited to people who can't physically, with a doctor's note, draw a bow back.
Well, I'm going to argue with that a little bit, and only a little bit.
I was trying to be nice.
I agree, and it was gentle, and I appreciate it because you're normally not gentle. You're normally a little more gruff. But my worry about that is there's a percentage of people that probably shouldn't be using a compound. Period.
Sure.
Regardless of age, because they're not going to practice
from skill level,
and they suck at it.
So they're going to just wound,
and they're just going to wound animals. So that percentage of people, I see a positive. I see hey, you didn't wound that animal, you killed that animal.
Do you put young kids in that group?
Oh, young
He's
kids,
saying
no problem.
regardless of
I'm
age.
saying,
You're
I'm saying regardless
grown.
of age. I'm saying a grown-ass man
Okay.
that knows he's not going to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going,
But desperately wants
I
to
want to
hunt.
go out. I want to go out before rifle
Yep.
and try to kill a deer. And if this exists, I'll do it. And then if the other exists, I'll do that too. But I'm probably going to do poor things with the other one.
Right.
How do you draw the distinction? How do you allow for that to happen?
I don't know. I
Without
don't know how you find a line between. I do like the idea of it should be an elderly person or a child, someone who's physically incapable of doing the
And that's
task.
basically what Kentucky does for the most part.
Absolutely.
I think just for fun, I'll disagree with you, so we can have
Sure.
we can have the discourse. I think at this point we agree that kids to a certain extent, elderly, injured folks, anybody essentially who can show good reason for needing or just strongly wanting to use it, then I think fine, like we're okay with it. I think, like you saying, there needing to be an incentive to get us back to archery is important. I think I would agree with you wholeheartedly that like what we all fell in love with, that is archery is missed with the compound industry.
Do you know why you fell in love with it?
Crossbow industry, forgive me.
Do you know why you fell in love
No,
with it?
tell me.
It's very simple. You got this thing. Now, if you didn't have somebody to help you with it, right? How the majority of people fall in love with archery is they try it and they suck at it.
Yep.
And they're trying to get better.
There you go.
Yep.
Right? And then they get to a certain point and they can't
Same with
figure out how to
hunting.
bet together. So they turn around and go to an archery shop. And at that point, they're probably looking for a pro shop, not a chain store.
Right.
Right? And then they find somebody that this is their life's passion. This is what they care about. This is what's important to them. And then there's 6 dudes hanging out in there on their lunch break because that's what they like to do.
There's your community.
Right? And then they walk in there and they go, oh, geez, this was wrong. Let me fix this for you and I'll explain to you how to use it. And while he's waiting, he's talking to these 6 guys that this is their life's passion. It's a community because you have to have a community for it to work because you have to use the goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go out and practice. You have to train. You have to earn it.
Yeah.
As opposed to having it handed to you. And that's where the community comes from.
I'm going to stir the pot here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doe tags only for crossbows.
Yeah, there you go.
Great. I mean, they're trying to lower the
ties
population.
in fairly nicely to what I was going to say. Guess
Like
what? We're doing the exact same thing with hunting in general.
If you want to kill a buck, there's your incentive.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean,
great.
and I don't know the stats on South
I was
Carolina.
hoping one of y'all was going to get pissed at that. Everyone's like, oh, that's a good idea.
No, and I'll one up you as you guys may know that I am with baiting and corn piles. I would also say does only. Great. I'm all for it.
If you could regulate
let's have
it.
early on. Let's have a doe only exclusive season. Doesn't overlap with bucks. You can use crossbows. You can use
Nobody
cell
will do
cameras. You can use corn piles. I will do all of those things, and we'll mow them down.
Nobody
and
will do it.
everybody's state goals will be met.
You watched a lot of Marvel movies as a kid, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Really? Okay.
I'm not a big Marvel guy. Why? Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, because you're making some shit up.
Well, I mean,
I've sat here long enough. That's what happens.
I guess I look at it like
I really like it personally.
And I, like I said, I don't know the stats on South Carolina, but obviously South Carolina's got one of the most liberal seasons in like whatever. At some point in August, you can start using a rifle the whole way through January, right?
$5 in certain parts of the state.
Yeah, isn't yours just as bad?
Georgia? You buy your license, you get 12 deer, $2 and 10 does. Supposedly, one of them's got to have 4 points or better on one side. I ain't never heard nobody getting a ticket about it.
So I guess here's where I look at that is, again, kind of going back to not having incentive to use it. If rifles are able to be used throughout the entire season, which I very much think that a lot of whitetail states are heading that way. They're just going to say, use whatever the hell you want. It opens this day and it closes this day. Does that erode some of the people who are currently using crossbows to go just straight firearm? And
100%.
does that preserve the vertical bow side though?
Maybe. I don't know. Like
if the season is wide open to any weapon,
Wide open.
Well,
Because they're only using crossbows because they can't use a gun right now. Right?
I agree.
So are you saying rifle season would start typically when early bow season starts?
It would, whatever weapon you want.
Oh, no, that'd be terrible.
I think it's
Yeah.
going that direction though.
it's an extreme in that way. Like just basically no season dates.
I mean, South Carolina has that right now, right? In parts of the state, not the whole state. I think it's August 15th. It opens up. You can use a gun, and
that's what Uncle Ted wants.
Well,
wide open.
I'll tell you what Georgia did last year that I was not a fan of. They opened up 2 days of rifle season. So we have archery, muzzleloader, rifle historically.
Yep.
They opened up 2 days of rifle season for doe only the last 2 days of our archery season.
Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of states do
I'm
that.
not a fan of that.
No.
Why?
because we don't have that many deer as our biologists would state.
Really?
Yeah, because I accidentally got invited to stand on the commissioner's board, not commissioner's board, but basically the voting board to figure out laws and stuff like that. Yeah. And
You're on the board there?
not anymore.
Okay.
One video.
In Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how I got the job. They didn't pay very good.
Is that a governor-appointed position?
No, it was actually somebody who reached out to me through social media and said, "Hey, I think you would do really good on the what was the exact term?
It's like an advisory?
Georgia Deer Season Committee."
There you go.
What it was, yeah.
Seems
And,
important.
I said, "Yeah,
Sounds
I
legit.
would love to be a part of this. Absolutely." I was the only one under the age of 60 that didn't have diabetes on the committee.
That does not surprise me one
yeah,
bit.
and I was the only bow hunter.
That also doesn't surprise me one bit.
Well, it shocked me and it was very disappointing for my state.
It is.
But anyways, they were entertaining bringing 3 buck tags in. They were entertaining lengthening rifle season. So we have a 4-month rifle season.
That's freaking nuts.
No way.
Starts in November. Well, let's see, October, November, December, mid-January. So yeah, almost 4 months.
Wow.
It is stupid, and it was.
Well, there you go. That's a fairly good example of what you're talking about. I mean, go ahead. What do you see in terms of?
I think they did away with everything they were suggesting after the video I made, and it pissed a lot of people off. Because here's the thing: your biologists, your state regulators are not telling the everyday hunter what they're thinking about doing before they actually put it on paper, and that is trash in my opinion.
And after, I mean, basically they're doing it because they have to check the box, but the decisions have been made.
And one of the things, the statistics is what was most disappointing to me. The biologists made the reference that southern states shoot almost as many mature deer as western and northern states.
I've heard that numerous times.
I said, okay, not in my house, but where do you get these statistics? And I quote, "We go to deer coolers randomly, and whatever deer are there, those are what we take into the numbers."
Interesting. And what's considered a mature deer?
It's probably 3+.
I would consider a mature deer 4+.
What are
I
they,
would.
by their
I'm just
terms?
saying, yeah.
No,
Well, that's their term.
Oh,
That's all
I don't
it's
know, but they were talking about.
I mean, that's interesting.
It's like the it's the DMAP data.
But
that we've heard. That's
here's
no
the deal:
different.
if you scroll on any,
I mean,
deer-
that's not DMAP. That's just random
Yeah.
pulling.
it's not good analytics.
No.
It doesn't make
How would-
sense. You can scroll on.
How would you do it differently?
I can tell you, I can do it very differently and easily. Scroll on your local deer coolers processor page on Facebook and see how many fork horns are on there.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you
so
wouldn't have to
I guess
drive
what
anywhere.
that stat is leaving out is how many deer. Period. Like maybe you guys are killing way more mature bucks and younger bucks, which I guess could be a problem.
Certain parts of the state are. Most of the state is not.
Okay.
Yep. So there's certain parts of Georgia that is heavily populated with deer, and yeah, those guys need to kill their deer. Go for it. Certain parts of the state are
It needs
not.
to be more micromanaged.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's not. It never will be because the landscape level politics is what rules it all.
Well, that's I mean, that's a lot.
You see what I'm
that's a
saying
lot
though
of
about
states.
the overlap? Like again, and I hate saying it, but I really do believe because there hasn't been a single state agency that we've talked to who hasn't said that their goal is to
Yeah,
their number one goal
almost all of them
is to
feel like
kill
they have
deer.
too many deer.
Period.
Yeah.
And so I do think that at some point they'll say, hey, the season opens October 1st. I don't give a shit what weapon you use. Here's your bag limit. They'll still do that. And then it closes January 15th.
How much of that do you think's got insurance companies behind it?
I think the Department of Ag is
I
the
think
number one driver.
Ag's bigger.
And I'm not saying insurance doesn't play a factor because it absolutely does. But I think ag is your predominant driver.
Well, and in some places too, even hunters agree. Like where my family farm is at in Ohio. Well, I guess I should say all of Ohio. They do. I don't see them as often as I would like to.
Deep, boys.
But they do. They do surveys. They're surveying hunters, and they're also surveying non-hunter stakeholders is what they would call them. And there seems to be a general consensus that across most of the state we have too many deer. And I've seen it myself. There's a lot of deer. I would be fine, shooting more deer. So,
But that's to your part of the state.
that's Ohio. Well, other than the EHD, recent happenings here, it's most of the state. I think is.
But you still need more localized management.
For sure. Everybody would benefit from. I mean, property. Yes, yeah. more localized, the better. But most states seem to be in agreement that we've talked to is that we have too many deer.
Yeah.
Can't figure out how to shoot. We can't incentivize our hunters to shoot any more deer, and we're losing hunters. So
What's
we're losing strength in numbers. We're losing money.
Well, but that goes back to your original suggestion. What's the best way to lower the deer population? Kill the females.
Mm-hmm.
Kill more deer. Yeah.
Kill more female deer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know how you incentivize that word to shoot more females? Earn a buck.
Give them a buck tax.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
see, that's the
but
dirty
if-
word. Now,
if-
because it's
Yeah.
unpopular. They don't want to lose hunters. They don't want to lose money.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it is.
It is
Yeah.
the
No,
incentive,
you're right.
though,
You're
right?
So
right.
you have to find somewhere in the middle. Yeah, we've danced around this, and every state's got different, framework from which you try to step in and manipulate. But like in Ohio, for example, there is no doe exclusive season. We feel like that is kind of a no-brainer. It's
There's
like, well,
always a buck season overlapping.
overlapping. And
What is Ohio's tags, or how's it
One
work out
buck,
it's a $6 state, right? So you can shoot
6 deer.
forgive me,
state.
6 deer, $1. So you can shoot 5 does, but generally you'll have 3 deer counties and like 2 deer counties.
So you can never kill all of them in a
So you
single
can shoot like a
county.
buck and 2
Or on
does
a
in one
single
county
property.
and then 3 does in another county, for
Gotcha.
instance.
there? Interesting.
But to that point too, archery season starts third Saturday in September and runs to first Saturday in February, straight through.
Mm-hmm. And we
And
are
crossbows,
we're 70,
wild.
70
Wide
30
open.
crossbows to
Sure.
So
Archery.
y'all state, correct me if I'm wrong, is judging how many deer can be taken from each county.
Yep.
And
It's managed on a county level.
interesting. That would work really good for my state. See,
and in
Require more
PA
work.
in PA here they do
darn.
wildlife management units, so it's like multiple counties.
3 to 4 county type units.
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah,
better.
Washington's
Because
got
Better than
some-
landscape.
tons of
Well,
counties
some
like that.
counties have more agriculture, so they need more deer taken out.
What's Georgia right now? Is it more region?
It's the whole state.
Just wide open.
Yeah. I mean, now, so South Georgia, for example, has a ton more agriculture,
Sure.
a ton more row crops than North Georgia ever thought of. We got chicken houses, cows, and some
Yep.
rich people have horses, and that's it.
Yep.
So down there, they have a lot more deer, a lot healthier deer population versus what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we,
Same limits though.
Yeah.
Same bit.
yeah, no county,
Yeah, that's
nothing.
that's trash.
Same doe days for rifles.
Dumb.
Well, no, I say that. No, I take that back. I believe our doe days do bounce around counties as well, yeah. But as far as like bag limits in general, statewide. Season, statewide.
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Deer Grow.
Man, hard to believe, but Deer Grow has been the sponsor that's been there since the beginning of the Hunter Podcast. Back in 2021, I think that they were the only partner that we had, but it's such a cornerstone brand and set of products for our food plot strategy throughout the year.
No doubt. And it seems like we used to have an off season, but not so much anymore. It's like when the hunting season ends, it really rolls right into food plot season, habitat projects, all of the above. And the Plot Start and Plot Boost have been there since the very beginning. That's a cornerstone for all of our plots. The Plot Start goes on at the beginning, Plot Boost goes on midway through. And since they came out with all of the fertilizers, that gets mixed in with the Plot Boost application as well. And I can't believe the results that we've been getting out of that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like I said, it's all the work now that really produces the results in the fall. So right now, anyone listening to the Hunter Podcast can use code HUNTER, HUNTR, for 15% off any of the products at deergrow.com.
Better food plots, bigger deer.
I think and just because, so my kids are 10 and 14, about to be 11 and 14. And so they've killed plenty of deer with crossbows. This year was the first year, and I told them both, I was like, listen, if you can't kill a deer with a vertical bow, you will not hunt archery season. As much as that pains me as a dad, because I love going out with them. But I'm like, if I don't put the transition in front of them, what's the incentive of them ever not using a crossbow?
Exactly. That's the whole problem. Is there's
Good job.
in general there's not a
It's
incentive.
tough. It's a tough, because there's a good chance that one and or both of them may not be capable of
I mean,
it this year.
what do you guys see, with just the people that are coming into your shop? How many out of 10, how many will transition to a compound bow?
Kids? Are you asking?
Just in
Well,
general.
well, at my shop now.
all of them.
You've incentivized your customers accordingly.
Before you threw it out with the baby water.
It was
Good for you, by the way. Proud of you for that.
typically it was an easy decision, but I appreciate it. The people that come in for a crossbow are pretty much always going to stick with a crossbow.
Yeah, why would they change?
Very small percentage will switch to a vertical bow from what I've seen.
And that's prompted probably by compound guys
Making fun of them.
busting up on them.
That what you talking about? That little 2% switching to a compound?
Maybe.
It's their buddies giving them a hard
Unless
time.
they've had just like tremendous success and they won a challenge.
Let me interject this.
Yep.
Okay?
Please.
And it's the same. And I told Scotty this already to his face, so I'm not insulting him publicly.
Right.
I said you're wrong for what you're doing, and I'll tell you why. You're denying every crossbow user in your area the opportunity to find out how great archery is because they never walked into your store. That guy is still going to buy a crossbow. He's just no longer buying it from you. You didn't stop crossbow sales in your area. You just removed them from your own headache. And yeah, I get it. It sucks.
I get it
And
from
yeah,
a
I get it, it's
financial
problem.
standpoint.
No,
and
this is not a financial. This is not a financial. It has nothing to do with money. Most of what I do has nothing to do with money. It has to do with growing the sport. And if a crossbow guy walks into a store that sells guns and crossbows, did he ever even see a vertical bow?
Probably not.
No, he did not. Right? Nor did he have the opportunity to meet somebody that was passionate about it or have the opportunity to see 8 guys come in and they're jaw-jacking about how great it all is and da-da-da. Well, he's waiting for his crossbow to get bolted together or fixed or that sort of thing. You denied that guy that opportunity. And that's the problem with what you did. I don't disagree with why you did it. But that's the problem if you're trying to grow archery in general. That's why you don't get rid of it. That's why I won't get rid of it. Because I want every one of those people to walk into my store and get asked, so why are you picking a crossbow? What's your logic? What's your reasoning? You know, and have a healthy conversation about it, not an argumentative one where, oh, you're gay, so that's why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Right?
That's implied.
That's implied,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah, we get it.
And every person that's passionate about archery relatively feels that way. But the problem with that is when you take that path and you project that noise, they're not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Right.
No different than, oh, you recurve, all you do is wound shit. Oh, you cheater, you got training wheels.
They're just going to go to somebody else.
It's the same thing.
The
it's just a different generation of it.
Hmm.
So as much as you want to say this is a horrible thing and you shouldn't do it, they're still going to do it.
Dude, what you said about, crossbows that sticks with. I never heard it explained that way. We'll always debate archery, crossbows, mainly from like an access standpoint.
Yeah.
We feel, that it has a dynamic that affects how people,
Just gave them more time in the woods so they find a reason to lease or buy.
all this and that.
That's what started it.
I saw that. That's fine.
Oh yeah, you did see that.
So that's been our approach. I had never heard it explained, but I tend to really agree with you saying that, like, essentially crossbow is not archery, and so like if it gets prolonged and all of that we just age out of it because it's like it doesn't give us the satisfaction that we're looking for out of
I get
archery as
Josh's
a
point,
sport.
though. I mean,
That's a great point.
The fact is if they're willing to walk into your shop and you
I think
have
you're right
then
about
an
that also.
audience
Yeah.
to change their mind effectively.
How do you find that those conversations go either up front or years down the road? Are those people that eventually come back to you and say, like,
Well, I don't have enough time to tell you that.
Yeah, because you're
right, because it's only been a year and a half,
Okay.
but it's been kind of a standard discussion with my guys.
what
It's
about
like, hey,
just up front then? Do they say, well,
you
I'm open
typically-
to either or, but
I think we've had a few walk away from it, but in general, it's not that transaction that's going to happen.
Sure.
It's the next one.
Mm-hmm.
It's when he goes to get a new crossbow, or he has a bad experience with it, or that sort of thing. When he goes to get something different, he might make a different choice, or at least be open to the idea.
How often are the guys coming back in? So I know you've recently shut them off, but from a crossbow side, like, okay, I came in, I bought my crossbow, I go out, shoot my deer this season. Do they come back next year to get it tuned or checked? Or, I would assume no.
We do an awful lot of string changes, like a lot.
And that's just because they fuck them up.
Restring. Yeah.
No,
The string
well,
changes
well,
on
every
the
year,
last-
right?
Yeah,
The-
on a crossbow, yeah, you better do it every year.
The crossbow customers that I absolutely love and adore, they get their strings done every 500 shots or, well, depending on the bow, or 2 years. Yeah, they're coming back.
But from a user error standpoint, I assume they're frequenting the store because they fuck it up.
Yeah, and that's the downside of it. And the crossbow manufacturers haven't put enough incentive in there to benefit the shop that's actually doing their work for them.
Right.
Now you can always take the stance of I'm not going to work on it, but I'll ship it back for you.
But they're going to go somewhere else.
No, they might not. Like if you still handed them back a fixed crossbow, but you didn't touch it.
Oh, gotcha.
Said, here you go, Raven, fix your broken crossbow.
Fix it.
Here you
I
go,
gotcha.
10-point, fix your broken crossbow.
But now
But
there's a time
will they
essence
do that?
in there.
Yeah, it's going to take a month,
Well,
a month and a half
exactly.
to
Well,
bring
here
it back.
we'll use Raven as an
and
example.
it's expensive to ship it.
We'll use Raven as an example.
Good one.
If a string pops on a Raven,
Yep.
you have to replace
The limbs.
the limbs, the cams, and the strings.
Per Raven, per the manufacturer.
Raven.
Raven.
They will not just if the cams are bent and the strings are broke, they won't just send you the
They'll
cams
send
and
it
the
all.
string. So customer brings it to me like that. I now have to explain to him it's going to cost minimum $400 on top.
And is
with
there
labor and
is
everything.
no warranty?
Not the last. Not unless I haven't dealt with them in a year.
So that's purely on the customer to pay to fix it.
Yep.
And or they just buy a new one.
And they just
for
spent
whatever.
$2,600 on that boat. Now you explain to him why he's got to spend another $400 to fix it.
Yeah.
And they're
That's
not fun to work
the
on
pill.
either.
That's the pill they accept us to swallow, is to be that person.
And how many people just say, yeah, fix it, fuck it? Most of them?
Most of them are going to fix it, but whether or not they ever come back to you again,
Because they're blaming you
They're blaming
in
you.
that case.
Yeah.
They're blaming you. They're not blaming Raven.
I mean, are the manufacturers just idiots? Because at some point, they're going to realize that they can't keep burning you guys. I mean, Scotty just kicked them out of their shop.
I know. I think they can, though. And it's
because they have a corner.
It's going to take more of what he's doing to get it to happen.
It's going to take more people that can actually work on them and fix them to do the same thing for them to say, okay, we got to do something, because the amount of bows that shops like mine and Josh fix on a yearly basis, especially in a short period of time, if that was to flood the manufacturers, if consumers started sending them back,
couldn't do it. There's no way.
It doesn't matter, 7 days a week, first, second, third shift would never happen.
Yeah, there's too many of them for them to fix them, is the reality of it. Especially when you try to get a hold of those companies when it's the busy time, when November 1st and you're bringing in 5 broken crossbows a day, every day, like that happens, they stop answering their phone. Like they literally don't even answer their phone.
Yep. You have to email them.
You have to email them because they're so busy and they have so many calls coming in, they can't answer the phone because there's so much broken shit because those things break.
And you can't train somebody in 2 weeks how to answer a crossbow technician's questions or take their orders or know what parts they're trying to order from you in that short period of time.
So how vulnerable are these manufacturers? Like hypothetically, let's just pick Tennessee. If Tennessee said tomorrow, archery season does not include crossbows, how big of an impact?
It's 50% of archery hunting in Tennessee, so it's a pretty big impact.
Can some of these guys
and all
sustain that?
And all those guys that are shooting a crossbow are just going to go back to a vertical bow.
Because several of these crossbow manufacturers are backed by capital groups at this point, right?
Yeah, there are most of them are investment. Yeah, so there's money behind it, so they can withstand it a little bit. But you're only gonna burn something that you're trying to grow as profitable and take a loss for so long before you cut your losses.
That's a landscape level change that that bleeds them out.
Yeah, but you're never going to get that to happen. You have a lot better chance of separating the seasons to a degree. Like if archery season's 4 weeks, the first 2 weeks is vertical only, and the next 2 weeks is everybody. You got that chance. It's possible. It's hard, and it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort, state by state, to do it. But it's possible to do. You can only hunt does with a crossbow. That's also possible.
As crazy as it seems,
I think that's a great solution.
And it's a weird alignment. I think your biggest advocate are your gun companies because they lost a shitload of business.
Yeah.
A shitload.
Yeah, crossbow is the number one used thing in several states.
Just cannibalized the hell out of the deer gun hunters.
It's a very unique product because it's really proficient and can be proficient out to 100+ yards, right? And that's hunting deer.
That's it.
Like that's hunting.
That's it.
That's hunting Midwest deer.
100 and
You're not seeing that deer more than 100+ yards away for the most part. And if you can see it, you can shoot it. That's the average consumer. If a crossbow does it does it quieter than a gun.
Yep.
And you can use it in the city limits.
And you can use it in the city limits.
This state
why wouldn't you use it?
I mean, traditionally we had 1 million hunters, right? We're in the 830s at this point.
Yeah.
We were one of the most deer gun rich states that existed for, forever. When crossbows became legal, I would say within 2 seasons, people questioned the amount of deer in the state because when they went out and they gun hunted, they're like, nobody's shooting. Used to be when I grew up, in the early 90s. Yeah. When I was hunting, dude, it was World War III before lunchtime. I'm talking counting 300-400 shots.
Yeah, no, a lot of them are converting gun to that. A lot are, for sure.
And what people don't realize is that's what's happening. And it's not just because they're successful. It's because they don't feel the anxiety to get out on opening day because they've been hunting for 2 months.
Right.
They're like, I've been hunting for 2 months. I don't really have to go out on opening day. Before crossbows, dude, everybody was out opening day.
Yeah.
That was the day to be in the
ritual.
woods. It was the ritual. Now, it's not because there's less deer or anything. It's just because everybody's been hunting for 2 months.
Yeah.
So they just don't feel the urgency to have to be out there. Either they killed one or the wife's like, listen, you've been hunting for 2 months. Do you really have to go out tomorrow? I don't know. Probably not.
The hunter incentive is like such an interesting.
You're right. Kentucky does
conversation.
have it really well right now
Yeah.
So Kentucky actually used to not have. You said they have a season now
for
so to speak?
crossbow.
Yes.
Yeah, it starts 2 weeks after the opening day of bow season.
When I first started hunting Kentucky 10 years ago, roughly, it was $120 for your out-of-state tags.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
But they would not allow a crossbow, period, unless you had a doctor's note proving that you could not physically pull back a crossbow.
That was a lot of states. Pennsylvania was the same way.
See, I in the state I grew up in, we never had laws like that. I didn't know most states had tags until I started going out of state.
Right, just because of how you were in Georgia.
You buy your license, I get to kill 3 turkey. Well, now it's 2 turkey, couple bear, and deer on a sportsman's package for $80 as a resident.
Yep.
See, where I don't know where we went wrong, and this is a societal statement, so bear with me here, is that, so I'm 42. So when I grew up in the 90s, my dad was a big archery hunter, which is why I was a big archery hunter. You wouldn't be caught dead shooting a crossbow. You were a weak-ass man if you were shooting a crossbow. Guys that I knew that had the most, I'm talking shoulders that they couldn't lift it up past here. They wouldn't be caught dead shooting a crossbow. They could go get their note, and they could shoot it if they wanted to. But they would not be. They would struggle to pull a bow back rather than admit that they needed a crossbow.
It was one generation. You're 47.
Yeah.
You're like in between. It was like my dad is 60. Like he was. That to me is the last age where that was the case. Where they're like,
my dad's still now. He just went through. He's going through metastatic prostate cancer. Went through hell chemo, everything. And we go to Kansas. I'm like, dude, just shoot a crossbow. Like, just go shoot a big bow. He's like, fuck no.
Yeah.
He will not.
Me
do
and
it.
Jeremy are like,
Will
please
not
shoot
do
a
it.
crossbow. Like,
Yeah.
well,
We put him on the podcast. He's like, let's talk about these crossbow pussies.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that's that. You're right.
I like
It's
this guy.
that generation, right? And
that
then
generation.
right after it, all of a sudden people are like, well, it's not that bad, right?
So
Well,
what
but
would
his-
what would that
so
make
his-
you? Does that
his
make you a
level of-
millennial or a
I am a Gen X. I'm at the tail
Gen
end.
X.
Last year of
X.
Gen X.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, which in my opinion was the last generation of non-bitches.
Yes.
No
I
offense.
would
No
agree.
offense to everyone else. There is a whole bunch of beta.
I like how he
there's
looked
a whole,
over at me when he said
There's a whole
that.
bunch. Well, you're a little metro.
He's like,
you got a little
Did you hear
metro
this?
going on over there.
I got headphones on too, mother.
Yeah, you can fucking hear me.
I can hear you, dude.
No, we're now in a
I'm the one wearing
generation
skinny jeans over here.
of betas, realistically, right? And
You get what I'm
the
saying. there, though.
the testosterone level of your dad is probably higher than a 25-year-old.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
Like, literally.
and that's the hard
I didn't think about that.
soft times.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Soft times make soft men.
It absolutely does.
And we are we're staring the face of the incoming hard times.
I was trying to think
We
of.
are
God, I
going
wish
to.
Ty Jordan was here for this.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the, and I know it's not like a
Scotty's like,
specific
speaking of
year.
hard men.
Your
I'm not-
purple ass shorts. Love you,
Yeah.
Ty.
I know it's not a specific year, but I'm just trying to think of that time frame because I really don't remember. All I remember is everybody was a vertical bow guy, and then all of a sudden I'm like, where did all these crossbows come from?
Well, it came with the legalization, which was not that long ago. It was like 10,
Well,
10
But
years
why
ago.
why was it accepted?
Well,
Because it's easier.
Because the ATA helped force it. You can blame the ATA for where we are.
Okay.
The ATA lobbied for crossbows to be legal in all these states.
Hmm.
Yeah, they spent
Ooh.
archery.
Well, I'm
Trade
sure they weren't
Association-
alone.
It was largely the ATA, but
Really?
it was first the innovation of the modern crossbow, right? Like crossbows when I was a teenager,
Yeah, we're
where no
dog
one
shit.
would use one, were
Recurve rims,
god awful,
Excalibur,
god awful. And then you get to Raven,
Yeah,
modern 10
Yep.
point, which what 10 point is kind of adopted it from Raven originally when they changed their shift, right? And then all of a sudden the crossbow's a proficient tool.
yeah.
It's not you bought a Barnett in the 90s and it shot a group worse than my compound did.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was off arrest. I'm
Exactly.
like, no.
They still
Yeah.
do.
This isn't. They do. No, I agree. I agree. But there's some insanely accurate
There
stuff
are.
now.
Yeah.
That
right?
make-
And
that makes
that's,
sense,
And that's
though.
so they first made the tool efficient, and then they went to the board and said, "We got a really efficient archery tool here that you should let us use in archery because you got too many deer, and we can kill them, and our success rates will go way up, and your deer populations will go way down."
Which is the
And they
goal
said,
of
"That
every
sounds
state.
great. That sounds great."
And what was the flaw? What was the flaw with that theory? What in hindsight can we look back and say, here's where they were wrong about that?
They're not the ones that have to fix the damn things.
Well, I think I think efficiency led
What
to
is it? Selectivity.
I
think
think
there's a correct answer, and you're onto it. Yeah.
efficiency
I
led
want to
to
see if Josh knows
selectivity.
that.
Yeah. Well,
That's what it was.
The reality of it is it eliminated the community and it eliminated the effort and the drive and the work to make it something that you had to earn.
That's exactly.
It's no longer something you have to earn. It can be given. And when something is given, it has no worth.
Yeah.
Which is why nobody wants to kill a doe.
Everything you've done in your life that you're authentically proud of and you feel great about was hard.
You earned it.
Was hard.
Yeah.
This isn't hard.
Yeah. I think that is the right answer from an archery perspective. I think from a hunting perspective, the reality is that guys want to kill bucks. So we'll take any legal means and apply it to our ultimate goal. So that's why you don't see archery harvest increase. You see buck harvest, success rates increase, but ultimately we're killing fewer deer.
That's why we have a deer population issue in some parts of the country.
And that goes back into let them shoot does. That's a great solution.
Mm-hmm. And nobody will.
Make them shoot a doe before you shoot a buck.
Earn a buck, they will.
I think the ideal scenario here, personally, would be what you, I think it was you that said it, is you can only shoot does with a crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just want to kill deer, and that's your thing, we're not shortening your season. But if you want to shoot a buck, you got to shoot a vertical bow.
Yeah, and nobody will shoot
That's
a
an
crossbow
interesting
and
proposal.
all of a sudden,
few will.
a lot will stop. Well, just no different than you're saying. There's a bunch of fork horns in the butcher.
That would shoot does with
I
crossbow
think they'd start
only?
shooting
Well, no,
does.
I'm talking about people who would start off with a crossbow just shooting does, and all of a sudden, old Mac Daddy shows up on that trail camera.
No, I can't shoot them. I need to go figure out how to use a bow.
Oh.
Do you think?
I don't know how many people just shoot them.
Let me tell you how many people come. No, let me tell you.
A decent amount.
Well,
But
yeah.
you're still breaking a law, and there's
I
always
know.
a fear
I
for
get that. We
the
can't
amount
bank
of
on
people that come into my shop randomly take a half day off work because they got a trail cam picture of a deer they've never seen before and start spending money.
Yeah. They're all in.
I've always said a big deer is the best salesman.
It is.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go
100%.
all in on that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Jeremy and I are almost past because there are so many issues with just hunting, in regulation and stuff like that. That crossbows to us almost seem like an unsolvable. Like it is what it is. Like we live in a post crossbow issue. So and we want to have conversations about issues that can change. We feel like.
So you firmly believe crossbows can't change?
Oh, I'm asking these guys.
I do. I think it's possible, but like I was saying before, that you have to be able to incentivize and give a reason for why it needs to change.
Okay.
Right. And it's going to have to make sense to the legislature, and more than 3 people are going to have to say something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the reality of
Well,
it. Which is also part of why I don't want to kick it out of my store. I want to make content on it. I want to do the same testing I've done with bows, with crossbows, and test them against their specs and show the videos and do that and grow a percentage of my YouTube portfolio in that. And I know vertical bow guys are going to get mad at me, and that's fine. I'm okay. No different than pro shops can get mad at me for what I'm doing, but they don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm saving their life, and that's my goal, right? It's the same thing. I'm trying to save the vertical bow, and if I can get that community to look towards me and listen and believe what I have to say, which is what I've done with the compound community for the most part, maybe they'll listen when I get them to understand that, hey, these things need to be separated for our long-term growth and longevity overall. So if both groups are saying, hey, we want this, it's really easy to get it to change. But the only way you're going to do that is if someone can talk to both of them and get them to agree.
Both groups, one being crossbow
hunters.
And what are we getting them on board with?
There needs to be a separation in the seasons.
Why would they be interested in that?
Understanding the growth of the species, etc. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do to incentivize it. I actually, at certain points, have proposed maybe they have their own season period. Or maybe archery is a month long. You can only shoot a vertical bow for so long. You can both overlap, and then they get to close. And it's only crossbow, because at the end of the day, you want to incentivize each weapon.
You have to, if there's going to be a compromise.
Well, if there's going to be a compromise, and if there's going to be a consideration of a purchase, right? Because at the end of the day, we're still operating businesses. They need to have a reason to buy.
That I think that's the biggest thing is to your point about like who would hunt muzzleloader season if there wasn't just a muzzleloader season. You wouldn't. Nobody would. It's the same thing. It's like we don't have to completely kill out crossbows. We just have to bucket the season so that, frankly, the guys want to buy a vertical bow, they want to buy a crossbow, they want to buy a muzzleloader, they want to buy a rifle.
Exactly.
And as long as we're killing the same amount of deer and we're not losing hunters, then the state shouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Or more deer.
Yeah. They should be in favor of it at that point.
Yeah.
That is we use the term opportunity isn't always opportunity, because the states right now believe if we just hey, have at it, that we'll kill more deer. That's not the case. We have more tools to be more specific about what we're killing. That's why we're not killing does.
I think we're killing fewer deer because we're so efficient at killing deer. We have so many tools to be selective. And like I said, guys at the end of the day, for the most part, want to shoot. They want to shoot a buck, and they'll miss opportunities on does and stuff to shoot a buck. Mm-hmm. And so all of the things that the people who are lobbying for crossbow, all of the technology in the archery season, as well as the legislators, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot. Like if their goal is to have more hunters, make more money via license revenue, and shoot more deer, they're doing the exact wrong thing. Like they're listening to the lobbyists saying these things will do this. I think they will do the opposite. And I think we're living in that right now.
Yeah,
we are.
I agree.
But you're going to have somebody at that legislative level who's willing to listen to educated people to convince them that they're making a mistake and that what we're talking about here is going to lead to a better outcome.
Yeah, or just to explain the situation that we're in. Like, look at where we're at now, 5-10 years post crossbow inclusion. I would way rather have an Orange Army push out a section and shoot all the deer in it
100%.
than have all of my neighbors dumping corn piles and hunting over them with crossbows, shooting all the 2- and 3-year-old bucks.
And the state would be better off for it from a deer population standpoint.
Way better. We'd all be happier.
Yep.
That's just walk it back to where you were.
I don't know if you can do that, though.
In 2011 to 2015. Like, just walk it back.
That's what I don't know. If
you saw it, there it was, and then we missed it.
It'll never happen.
Forgive me, 2004 to 2011.
That's like saying we never should have been able to own firearms.
Yeah.
You're never getting it back. There's 400 million of them in the country.
Well, that is my question with the crossbow thing.
Your firearm companies are your biggest advocates for putting crossbows
hey, let's limit these things because these guys are coming out of your pool more than coming out of my pool.
Yeah.
And they have money.
They got money.
Call Greg up. He's also a crossbow guy, though.
Yeah. It's because 10 Point's paying him, I think. One of those guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, you call NRA up. You say, hey, listen, here's the issue, NRA. Like that is the backing you need. It's the weird kind of like, here's the vertical bow guys who are going to align with the pure gun guys to say, listen, you're missing out on revenue because these seasons aren't separated, and we need these seasons separated. It's a weird forged partnership, but that might be of value.
The easiest argument might actually end up being if you can get in front of whoever is responsible for writing the laws in that state, just go and say, hey, how come muzzleloader has its own season?
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
I tried doing away with that in Georgia.
Yeah.
Because the statistics that they showed said that 2% of deer harvested in my state were muzzleloader.
2%.
1, 2. I said, well, we do way more than that with bows. Why don't y'all give us the rest of muzzleloader season? And anybody, since we don't have any laws, that wants to still hunt deer before rifle can use a crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're thinking about extending rifle season instead. I'm going home to make a TikTok. I hate you guys.
It's tough, man. I mean, we've had enough of the state deer program leaders, chairman of the boards, that
Did I tell you I wrote Vivek the other day?
No.
I put in a formal request for just a meeting.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's what it is at the end of the day. Like,
governor, future governor.
Yeah, looks that way.
So we're tied pretty closely to Ohio. Just that's my family farm is there. Jeremy owns a farm there. We do a lot of our hunting there. Pennsylvania, I mean, is our home state. We care about this here as well. But like, unbeknownst to them, Pennsylvania's doing pretty well because we have way fewer hunters than we used to, and we don't have corn piles, and we have
a lot of public land.
A reasonably late, gun season, and we have a lot of public land. So
we had this conversation, and I don't know, it may have been at ATA, I can't remember, but we were talking about, because I think Hoyt has told us that Pennsylvania by far is their number one state.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every archery company's the number one.
That's
state.
what I was going to ask.
Yep.
Is that
Yep.
accurate? Mm-hmm. I didn't know if that had changed because we're fairly new in the legalization of crossbows, 10 years, give or take, something like that in Pennsylvania. So I just didn't know if that was every bow manufacturer's experience.
Typically, I mean, there's about 5 states that are all juggernauts, but traditionally Pennsylvania is the biggest.
Y'all have the
Interesting.
highest population of hunters.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's next?
So it makes
Texas.
Michigan.
Texas,
Michigan.
but I don't know
Michigan,
about
Wisconsin.
bow hunting. I think Texas in terms of
bow
hunting, period, yes.
Not a lot of bow hunters in Texas?
No. I'd say Michigan, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and
Minnesota.
Missouri?
Minnesota's up there. I don't think Missouri is. I chat GPT'd it once. I was curious.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
and that was
that
the
makes
order in
sense.
which it was. There's
New
like,
York, maybe?
New York's up there.
Yeah.
New York's up there. I don't think it's in
Anyways,
top 5 though.
I was just interested.
But either way,
to see.
but Pennsylvania's traditionally number 1.
So I look at those kind of things from, the vertical bow guys, and a given, some of them have Crossbows, sister companies, etc. But looking at like how are they investing to protect their assets?
Let me throw this out there.
I don't know if that's a loaded question, but it is a question.
It is.
I feel like, and your point is a good one, and this doesn't solve that, which is that, crossbows don't prolong our societal interest in archery, which is important. So this doesn't fix.
It shrinks our community. It doesn't grow it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Whether
And-
that's 10 years or 100 years, at some point,
Yeah.
there's
At some
an end.
point.
I agree, and this doesn't fix that. However, from a hunting standpoint, as it applies mainly to whitetail deer, which is a big deal, apparently. I think that there are more detrimental issues. Not that we need to necessarily like go into detail on this podcast.
Depending on the
necessarily.
state.
Depending on the state, but and that's where I'm teasing out like Jeremy and I's stance on. I'm like, if people want to use crossbows, I'm like, okay. First of all, you're not less of a person. Like, I'm not. It's not like, oh, this is better than that. It's we can joke and we should be allowed to do that, but what is the reality of that decision? As it relates to our opportunity, our access, our quality, just our enjoyment of the sport in general. And maybe you have 2 slightly different answers: archery versus hunting. Technology and bait, applied to the hunting seasons, I think is compounded, with things like crossbows in the archery season, compounded with things like, blinds, cell cameras, corn pot, all these things in conjunction with one another make it so that it's very easy to shoot a deer if you want.
Sure.
And that yields selectivity, or lack there, so it's like, okay, well, I'm going to hold that at least for a buck of a certain age class, which is never, what it was meant to be. So I don't know, like we are in a tough position of, here, fill me up too.
Well, I was about to say I'll buy you another one.
Don't worry about it. No.
Those are
I'll
for you guys.
reload.
You don't
I'll
have to
reload.
buy as anything. I appreciate it.
I have them at the house. I just haven't migrated them here.
So we walk the line too, and also of like, it's like, man, we don't want to just be the guy. While on one hand, I do very much want for this podcast to be one of the reasons that some of these regulations are changed and we see improvement. Just like you feel about the archery community,
Sure.
we feel about the hunting community.
Sure.
And
Deer hunting specifically.
compounds are, and cross. That's one aspect of that conversation.
You try to be as equal as you can there, Scotty.
Yeah, give me this many fingers.
That's
here.
pretty fair. Yeah. Seems to be a gap. Do we need to put a rock there to
tripped me out
separate
so
it, or yeah,
I'm a equal rights
Equal
guy.
opportunity. Yeah.
Unless you shoot a crossbow.
let's just shoot a crossbow.
So I don't know. That's just our heart on like the issue, and like, so I guess where I stand with it currently is I'm like, hey, listen, guys are shooting crossbows, and I'm cool with it. If
No, you're not though. You're not.
It's in a sequential order. Like,
But it depends on state.
it does. Obviously.
You're not cool with them shooting a crossbow in Pennsylvania.
No, I think that would be the next thing to address in a state like Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
But
Okay.
and I would say Pennsylvania is in a better state, no pun intended, than some other. In bait states, I think bait is the number one lowest hanging issue.
Okay.
Nationwide, I think that cell cameras are a big compounding factor. With
the other things.
these other things, are they equal with? I mean, obviously, dude. I think crossbows literally created like in conjunction now with cell cameras. I mean, they're all tied in together, but that was the big rolling stone here of access issues. I think it took a lot of gun hunters and put them into the archery season.
Yep.
And so now, those people are occupying space.
They have 2 months instead of 7
Not
days,
during 2 days
or
on
whatever it
permission. Now during the whole season across leases, across multiple states, across. Yeah. So now nobody's got anywhere to go. So it's like, well, you want to recruit new hunters? Great. Where are you going to take them? Nowhere to go.
Sure. No, I get it. I understand it. But
Sorry, I was ranting.
No. But you're accurate and you're right, and I don't disagree with it by any means. But once again, the state's going to turn around and go, "But we still have too many deer."
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
It's because you made it too easy.
Show me the
Well,
statistics.
but how do you have too many deer if you made it too easy?
That is what they're missing. That is what they're missing.
Yeah, if you made it too easy, then you didn't make it specific enough.
What
That's
is
exactly
what
what
is
under
too
those
many deer?
circumstances.
How can
Too many
the
deer.
state-
Just general opinion.
exactly
Survey.
Show me the statistics.
I
and
guarantee
why
you, it's the
too many
insurance.
deer.
It's the insurance companies.
Or
How many
ag.
people hit a deer with their car
Yeah.
per state
Well, and
per
it-
year?
and it's
per
survey
animal?
based
How many
too.
crop?
That's
How many
100%
crop
is.
damage
How much
permits
crop damage
and
permits and all that,
insurance
yeah.
and everything
like
else?
I
we're paying
mentioned
out.
in Ohio, all these other stakeholders, insurance companies, ag companies, and hunters alike agree that there's too many deer.
Do y'all have kill permits in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
So why don't they issue more
in
kill
terms of
permits?
DMAP and stuff.
Yeah.
We do in Pennsylvania. We do not in Ohio.
No. Ohio, you have to get farm crop damage tags, and you can get those, but not DMAP.
Yeah, which are
Interesting.
tougher to get.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Pure Wildlife Blends.
Man, what a critical component just to everything that we talk about, especially during these off-season months. We're looking at and developing these different farms and trying to improve them from year to year. And whether that's food plots or different switch screenings or bedding areas, they all require a dedicated and thoughtful seed blend.
Yeah, so obviously Pure Wildlife Blends being Jeff and Jen Sturgis, we've built a great relationship with those guys. And really what we're seeing is a true testament to them picking the best varieties for these mixes. In fact, we're leaning on clover a lot more. The perennial plot power that those guys do was one of the best clover plots I've ever seen. From December to March, we had more deer in a single clover plot than I've ever seen. A lot of these sheds coming from that plot or right around it. Again, just a true testament to what these guys are creating at Pure Wildlife Blends.
No doubt. And so if you guys are looking for just a workhorse seed that the deer will really use the way that you want them to use it, you can use promo code HUNTER, HUNTR, for a discount on the Pure Wildlife Blends website.
It becomes the problem, again, is, and we circle this drain all the time, is that
Sorry for dragging you guys into it.
average hunters,
No, these are conversations.
average
We're here for it.
hunters
To be a part of.
want to kill a buck. It's what they want to do. They are not necessarily incentivized to kill does. They could kill them if they wanted to. They could say, I'm a meat hunter and stuff, but the vast majority of deer hunters want to kill a buck. That's what they're incentivized to kill. With all the tools that they have at their disposal, they're able to do that more efficiently than ever before. So they're going to pass does. They're not going to kill does. They're going to wait and kill a buck, or they're not going to kill anything because they've been waiting to kill a buck.
Right.
I would say if you probably polled hunters right now, a very small percentage of them actually like venison.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to the evolution of our society. Just
Sure.
most people are not eating venison. I do. 4 or 5 times a week. That's just my personal.
To probably half the
preference.
population, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you. And if the purpose of hunting is to manage those herds, right?
Yep.
If that's
a
in their mind,
responsibility.
right? Then the easiest solution in the world is Scotty's. Is you got to shoot a doe before you can shoot a buck. And if this is not a pretty reality, but if you don't want to keep it, you don't have to keep it,
Sure.
right?
What do you mean?
Donate.
Just shoot it, donate it, or
Who
not.
cares?
Not
Why is that not
required.
pretty? I mean,
Or
Well,
do you-
or
Donate it,
do
yeah.
You
or
let
do
it
you
lay.
go as far as you let it lay.
Like a sandhill
Like if-
crane
If
issue.
you're making it, if you're requiring, I don't like the idea of it. But
Yeah,
here's
Me either.
here's a bit of a reality for a moment. If it's not inconvenient for the person to do it, right?
Sure.
So you take this guy who wants to kill a buck, and whether he's a gun hunter, a crossbow hunter, a bow hunter, whatever, he wants to kill a buck, and you tell him you must kill 2 does before you can kill a buck,
mm-hmm.
but you don't have to recover them.
Hmm.
He's no longer going to feel like that's a problem.
No, he's just gonna sling one and let it go.
Interesting.
I know it
Well,
sounds terrible. It sounds
okay,
it sounds bad from an ethical standpoint.
Yeah, and
but
here's the problem with it.
You're right.
Your non-hunting community, the general consensus of
hate that.
voters, they're going to hate that. As long as there's a population of people who would eat the meat,
yeah.
I think it's the state's responsibility and or our community's responsibility to give resources to process the animal and to make use of it.
That's great. Yeah, and if you make
that's
it, if
failed
you
right
make it,
now.
I'm with you from like
If you make
a
it easy,
reality standpoint.
make it
yeah, if you
easy.
make it easy for that person to
Yeah.
pass that on in one way or another to whatever it is,
It's
or
just-
donate it,
it's
whatever.
Just not
right?
easy right now.
Yeah, if you make it easy, then that's easy to implement. It's like, yeah, I got to go kill 2 does, but I'm just practicing for shooting my buck,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you don't have to functionally keep it. You can donate it to something.
It can definitely be done, dude. You just need people
Here's the alternative
in place
though.
at these states who understand hunters and how they're incentivized, and they're just making the wrong decisions.
If the hunters don't do it, the government will.
Yeah,
That's right. Well, the reality of it, there's not a pre-requirement to hold that position that is a game biologist.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, like whoever's making the decisions in your state, they don't have to have like a game biology
Most
degree
of them don't.
to be elected to that.
No.
Most
So
of
they
them
have no
don't.
idea, right?
The guys that
So
were
why
on
in
the
the
board
world-
with Scotty are probably retired dentist.
Right.
That's what it is.
I agree. I agree 100%. Why isn't there some accountability to the people making those decisions, having some background in
It's
that?
a great question.
Well, like
No
so
different than my home state, Washington
Yeah.
State. There's 5 or 7 on the game commission. Only one of them doesn't hunt, and they're all anti-hunters.
Yeah, same with
And
Colorado.
they have no degrees. They have no. Same
Well-
with Colorado. They are 100%.
So here's a shallow
Well,
look.
you told me it was bad. I didn't know it was that
It's
bad.
like there's one person that's not
It's
an
terrible.
anti-hunter on the entire committee.
All right, I take back what I said about being the only bow hunter. At least the other people bought a hunting license.
Well,
Yeah.
what we've found, and I guess Ohio again is the first one that comes to mind, but I think several other states are struck. Jeremy can correct me if not. There's a 7-member board that is appointed by the governor. So we, the people, vote for a governor, Democrat or Republican, and they appoint just via
recommendations.
so and so
usually.
knows so and so, or they've been in place for a while, and things
Yeah.
seem fine. So we'll keep these people in place, and they yay or nay, season dates and bag them and stuff like that.
but not legislation, which is what controls a
Yeah,
lot
they're
of the
separate.
laws.
So you can legislate things into law via lobbyists.
and
that
then the board has to use
the board
those.
yields to, and they decide how to enforce. It's just weird. And then you have biologists that are on staff. I'm convinced purely out of to check the box. It's like
It's making recommendations.
make a recommendation
And then don't follow it
and then
at all.
don't follow it. It's
Yeah.
purely a formality. The
Yeah.
fact that all of these states have biologists on staff. It's
sad.
Oh, 100%.
Sad,
It's a joke.
but it's what
a
it
joke
is.
is what
like
it is.
Like in Washington, I think it was like 5 years ago, we used to have a spring bear hunting season that you could draw a tag for, and a limited number of tags, right? And the game biologists got together and suggested to the commission that, hey, this should be just an over-the-counter tag.
'Cause
we
there was
have,
a
we have
sys-
way too many bears.
There you go.
And their conclusion was you can't bear hunt in the spring at all anymore. And then the next year they tried to outlaw all predator hunting.
Dude, not to change the subject here. Are you aware of what's going on in Oregon right now, or this vote that just happened? Can you educate us? We don't really know.
I don't know it thoroughly enough. I know they're trying to pass laws that make it to where you can't
Hunt is what we heard.
No, it's not just hunting. It's hunting and it's like
Fur
harvesting livestock. Like so a cattle rancher can't butcher a cow in the state.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
That's what I would do. That makes.
What
a
is
lot
the
of
nature
sense.
of this bill that's being proposed? Why is this on the table?
because there's a whole bunch of
Liberal
anti-hunting
nuts.
liberal nuts.
Is there
that-
some positive that most
No.
people can get on board with?
No, but the
and it's snuck
the way
in?
the verbiage that they wrote in the beginning of it is the protection of animal blah 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 blah. Like it has nothing to do with what it really is. And if you didn't read it and you just saw it on the ballot box,
Check
you go,
it.
chick, chick.
Did we hear results of the vote happened 2 days ago?
As far as I know, they were just trying to get it on the ballot. I don't think that it actually got voted on 2 days ago.
All I
It might-
read
it
was
might-
comments, and I said Oregon's voting on it today or something.
No, I didn't see that part.
Okay.
I thought it was later. You can look it up. But yeah, and I think Virginia's doing something similar. Or trying to do something
They're
similar.
just trying to outlaw guns in general.
Well, but that's where all these things go, right? So
That's what I'm
if
saying.
you eliminate hunting from your state, then it's very hard to justify why you need.
There's
a gun
some
anymore.
weird stuff like with the algorithm. Like we had a clip go. It got, I don't know, in 2 days it got 300,000 views or something on Instagram, and it's like not a quality clip in my opinion. It's just talking about Colorado and how we're not going to be able to hunt there in the future.
Kyrie, this
It's really interesting to see the virality of a clip like that has no business being, but it's like clearly there's something with the algorithm that likes.
Can I read this to you?
That's unsettling. Yes, go ahead.
Oregon Initiative Petition 28 that would effectively criminalize hunting and fishing is now one step closer to landing on the ballot in
So
November.
they got enough people to sign for it.
This petition would expand Oregon's animal cruelty laws, having now collected and submitted more than 120,000 signatures on the state, which is slightly above the 117 that's required to be measured to put on a ballot.
Yeah, it ballots in November. So
There you go.
Yeah, it's going to be on the ballot is what it boils down to, and the public's going to be able to vote for it.
You know what?
Ballot box biology,
Just
that's
thinking
what
out loud
it
here.
is.
This won't make the cut here, but wouldn't hunting being illegal kind of make it cool again?
Yeah, yeah. You're not wrong.
Like if I was a Colorado resident and they said, yeah, elk hunting's illegal, I'm like, all right.
Yeah. So there's a pending legal legislation. I think the federal government's involved with Washington and the Game Commission being in the pockets with anti-hunting committees. Like there's proof and documentation going back and forth.
Judge by what you've said, I believe it.
It's blatantly obvious. Like every law that they've passed has been in an effort to eliminate hunting or lower hunting. So that
Can you kind of say that again? I'm sorry.
Okay, so there's supposedly I don't have the deep details of it, but there's been anti-hunting interest groups, financial, and the Game Commission. Lots of
which state?
Of Washington State.
Okay.
Proof of
Thought that was jerking them off.
back and forth, basically.
I was
You got
watching.
one over here.
Yeah. Man.
Are you guys following me?
We get it. Yeah, I'm following.
and it's
Scotty,
No. That wasn't jerking
It's
them
like-
off. That was touching the tips. That's what it's doing.
it's like documented emails, proof, etc. of
Sure. Collusion.
Yeah, to try to pass laws in the state of Washington.
What do you think that looks like? I mean, hypothetically, because I mean, it's going to be on the ballot in Oregon, which is scary as shit.
Dude, in the
'cause
back of my mind is where's the frick are Trump's kids in all this? Like, Ted was raving about that. I'm like, how's this stuff happening at the national level?
Eric and Don Jr., Ted called him out, obviously, but a lot of people have called him out just for the fact that it's
What are
like,
you doing?
You've got huge influence here. Like, you need to be able to throw it around a little bit more.
Yeah.
How are we seeing, like in the era of the Trump as
I think they have bigger
president
fish
of the United
fry
States
in their minds.
Huh?
They have bigger fish to fry in their minds. They're dealing with war and oil prices and
That it is bigger concerns and problems.
I mean, that's the problem with where our lives are.
When you're the minority group, but
Yeah.
your state's still under your jurisdiction, your power, and your legislature's all underneath your umbrella, then you can fight back and feel like, well, I gotta pull back the things that we want because he's winning. Right, so they start getting a little more nutty and a little more nutty and a little more nutty.
And
there's been so much taxation added to the state of Washington in the last 2 years.
insane.
Like I'm moving my residency to Tennessee. They just passed a state income tax. The only benefit of living in the state of Washington, period, was the fact that they didn't have a state income tax. They have high sales tax. They have the highest gas taxes in the country. Property taxes are through the roof. My property taxes in Washington State are 4 times what they are in Tennessee.
Yeah. We were just talking about that in Illinois.
Crazy.
Dude.
And it says on my initiatives, 80% of it's for schools. How is 80% of that for schools if I go down to Tennessee and they have schools down there too, and it's a quarter of the amount?
Yeah.
And their schools
crazy.
are nicer.
And their schools are nicer. It's nuts. It's so messed up.
Our 145-acre farm, which has a shitty farmhouse and a couple shitty barns on it, we pay $16,000 in annual property tax on.
Dude.
That's in rural Illinois.
Yeah.
To
that's
fund
crazy.
Chicago.
You got to afford those meth heads, man.
To fund Chicago.
No, they're targeting us as non-residents.
Yeah, I know.
And they're trying
It's
to
a
get us to
recreational
fund
tax. It's
Chicago.
literally what it's
is
called.
what it comes down to.
Mm.
But it's insane. It's like, why?
It's a Democratic run state. I mean, and Pennsylvania's no different, dude. It's
Washington
not
State's-
business friendly. It doesn't work for anybody that lives there at the end of the day.
You can't just continually try to fund things that can't pay for themselves.
Just print more money.
Yeah. That's worked out real well.
We got super political really fast here, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, but it is all tied. Unfortunately, it is all tied together.
It is. It 100% ties together.
I will say on the flip side, the benefit of state politics is that it only takes one representative at the state level to understand what we're talking about here and to create a bill and get backed by one other constituent or peer to push it forward and actually have some movement. Just one. Just one person to understand what we're talking about, to say, hey, these guys aren't fucking crazy. Like, we should make some changes, to put it together in bill form, to get one other peer to support it, and it can move. It can at least get legs to try to do something. Yeah. So it's not insane to do it. Is it an uphill battle in a blue state especially? Absolutely. Is it an uphill battle in an ag state? No doubt in my mind, because I think the ag absolutely is dominating every decision that's being made on a wildlife population level. Except for the fact that we need to kill more coons. They don't care about that, but we should. If they put a bounty on coons, we would have no crop damage in most states. I guarantee that.
So you think most of it's coons?
For corn damage especially.
Oh, interesting.
I don't disagree with that.
I would.
Apparently, I have a ton of raccoons on my property that I spot.
Dude, it would be.
You have a creek. You have raccoons.
If you put a bounty on raccoons, whatever, $20, and you let people at it, we would have more turkey, we'd have more quail, we'd have more pheasants, we would have less corn crop damage for sure. Like within 2 years.
But then you get into the dog hunters, and that's a vicious society.
They are. And they're protective of that.
That is very deep.
They're protective of that.
Yep. Because most of them,
They want coons.
they want coons.
Yeah.
I've gone with many
They
of them in
want 'em.
Georgia, and I'm a dog hunting guy through and through. But I'm not walking through a swamp for your dog to show me where the raccoon is, and then not even shoot the darn thing, and then go home.
It's a game.
Yeah, it is, and I get it because it's all about the dog.
I understand.
But I mean that's a whole different demon right there.
But that is where, if you start to focus your efforts and things like that, and it's common sense biology. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's like it's tough for us because it's like we'll sit here daily, and maybe rightly, guys, especially from the state, will say, hey, if you don't go and participate in, let's say, board meetings or whatever, like, you can't make it. I disagree, in the same way that you guys have seen success, like with your businesses and stuff via social media and the conversations happening. We've seen the same thing organically with this conversation, around crossbows and the motives of hunters and stuff like that. I mean, it's not to say like we started that, but it's like I feel like we've been a big part of a movement of recognizing and making that an acceptable conversation for us to at least have our crossbows okay in the archery, and so I don't know. It is frustrating for now over 5 years. Jeremy and I have said it's not like all 5 years. It's like the mission is to get this out of whatever, But over the time we've realized a lot of these issues, and
The mission is to make it better.
Absolutely, and you would really like for. And dude, I'm at the point where it's kind of gloves off with some of the states that are close to home here, where it's just like, dude, people have to go, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how else to say it other than like, hey, so and so needs replaced for this legislation to have, or you just would like to think that there's somebody at these state agencies who care.
There has to be an adult in the room who's willing to do what is not popular to make it better for the long term.
But then that person doesn't stay in his job very long.
They have to be willing to fall on the sword.
Right.
They can't be vulnerable to financial incentive. They can't be vulnerable to ego and power. Right. And it's a unicorn, right? I know what we're talking about here. And they have to be willing to fall on the sword to know that this might be the last decision that they have input on before they're kicked out. But if you can find those people,
which definitely exists, and it's not like, oh, this person has to be this amazing person, but they just have to be willing to go through that.
Yeah.
I would be.
And it's hard to find, listen, money talks.
No one will vote me in, though.
People
The government
love
won't
ego
appoint
and
me.
power, right? Like they don't want to let that up once they finally have it. And those are the things right now that are preventing any positive movement from happening, is because they're either financially incentivized to stay in that position, or power and ego has them incentivized to stay in that position.
Yeah. Or they benefit from the way the legislation is currently in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tough, man. But that's what.
It's called
and again,
corruption.
I'm not calling them out, but I look at the vertical bow manufacturers and I'm like, what are you guys doing to preserve your business long term?
Well, it won't shock me if you see them shift more into making crossbows.
Fuck.
For the ones that don't.
Mhm.
Seriously, if you see the numbers shift.
Let me ask y'all something.
Please.
What's your favorite part about archery?
Just archery.
Just archery.
Well, it's probably a loaded answer. I mean, for me, I would consider myself just more of I enjoy hunting and the whole process of, preparing a property and creating opportunities. And I love the challenge of archery paired with that. Okay. That's the hunting answer. Mm-hmm. Archery. I love archery because, it's a therapeutic. I enjoy the entire process of preparing for a hunting season. It's kind of like a seasonal ritual. I enjoy the seasonality of breaking it out, practicing it, being efficient with a weapon, that I can kill something with.
What's your favorite part about archery?
I'm pretty easy. I'm a sports guy, so it's always been challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever I do, and frankly, not even team sports, like individual sports. Like I was a track and field kind of guy. Like it was me versus me type thing.
You're competitive.
That's all I want from archery is like, dude, I know that if I hand that bow to somebody who's never touched it before, they can't shoot it like I can shoot it.
Josh?
I love that I'm using the piece of hunting equipment that's determined to be the most difficult based off of the rules and the regulations, and that's where I get really sensitive about the crossbow thing. Because I made a decision. I hunted with a lot of people don't know this, but I hunted with a recurve for 2.5 years in my teens. Killed 6-7 big game animals with it. And then I picked up my compound that I hadn't shot in like over 2 years and shot a better group than I could ever shoot with my recurve. And I hadn't shot it in 2 years. And then I went and looked at the regs and saw there was no incentive. So like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot a compound.
It is stupid.
And that's what scares me is I know I made that decision. And I was passionate about
Why
it. Why
isn't there a traditional archery season that's 2 weeks
That-
at the
that is
start
the
of every
challenge.
season?
I told you to begin with. It's because you looked at each other and went, "You're a cheater. You
Yeah.
owned animals."
Yeah.
Meh, 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 and then you fought each other. It's the same shit we're doing with crossbows.
It is.
It's
no
100%
different.
the same
And-
thing.
and you know what's
And we're gonna
sad?
end up in the same place. There's no way it's not gonna.
You think that's
what
why,
what
though?
you said about
Yes, it's
crossbows?
why.
More and more people are going to go to crossbows. Less and less people are going to be shooting recurves.
Oh,
I see it already.
100%.
I mean, there's an like
And then you got compound right there, kind of in the middle.
like
Well,
I-
see,
yeah.
so
okay.
like what
So-
you said, compound would be next.
Well, so
it will be
i-
next.
If we
It
sit
will be
here and
next.
bitch about crossbows are too easy,
Mhm.
anyone who would argue that point would say, "Well, compounds are way easier than traditional bows," and
Yeah.
and they're absolutely
right.
right.
Yes.
all right.
So we would say, "Great, let's ban compounds. Let's move it. Let's move it, right." And 'cause
That's always been the challenge.
and that's
from a
obviously an
crossbow
extreme
advocate.
example. So you have to draw the line somewhere to say what can the resource in terms of access and the hurt, animals to hunt, what can they sustain?
Yeah.
But there's more relatability to a recurve and a compound versus a recurve compound and crossbow.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
Versus
Compound's
what?
closer to the
Versus-
gun.
there's more relatability between a recurve and a compound versus a recurve compound and crossbow.
Yes.
Not by a huge margin,
Yeah,
probably.
there is.
Which one can you side in to kill a deer in an evening at 100 yards with?
Which one are you shouldering?
Well,
like
for
a
sure, yeah.
gun?
Crossbows are the easiest.
Yes. Yeah. So there is more relatability between the recurve and the compound. Right?
I don't know.
They both
Honestly,
take practice.
I think. Oh,
I would
I
say
would
what-
say
now,
they're a
is one
similar
substantially-
distance, I think.
Is one substantially harder
Well, does
than
it?
the other?
Now,
Yes.
hold on. Does it take practice if I can put it down for 2 years, pick it up, and shoot a better group than I ever
I
did
can't-
shot with the
I
other one?
can't-
It's the same thing.
I can't
Scotty,
give it.
yeah.
I can't give
And
either of
Scotty,
those to
I
my
shot-
6-year-old and say
exactly.
hit the target.
Yes, I shot a traditional bow every day, an hour and a half a day for 2 years straight. Like literally never missed a day. It did. If I did, my fingers would hurt really bad when I went back to shoot it
Yep.
again. I shot every freaking day, and I picked up a tool I hadn't used in 2 years and shot better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing with a compound.
That
and a
is the
crossbow. So
advancements.
I think these are really fair comparisons to each other. I don't think it's
So
like polar
recurve to
difference.
compound.
I think
compound
they're-
to
I think
crossbow.
they're
compound
about
and
equal
compound to
distance.
crossbow is about equal, and that's why I'm terrified because I see what happened and I know what happened because I lived through it.
Well, see, and we live in a slightly past the time. We do. You guys were very much in that, So the question is, what can the resource sustain? And if guys have fun with compound bows, and we have enough access, we have enough animals to hunt and stuff, then great. Why
Can I-
not?
Yeah.
But okay, so where do we cross the line? Was it to cross? Was it potentially with compounds? If so, yes, there's an argument for all that.
I'm all for traditional having their own season if there was any participants anymore. But there's such a small percentage now. They need to speak up and say it and be realistic and get behind it. But there's not enough of them to even say anything anymore because they didn't do it when they should have. They looked at you.
Yeah.
Did they not?
They looked at
Did they
you,
not though?
They looked
They
at you
didn't.
shooting a compound and said, "You're a cheater."
Yeah.
I watched the conversations
why-
happen.
why did
and then I said, all you do is wound animals. That's how it went back and forth. Literally, that's how they treated each other. And we're doing the same thing.
What would be a different world, Josh? So how could that have gone differently? How could this go differently with
when
They should have separated
when it
the
was
seasons.
50-50, go to your state legislature and say, hey, we both think that we all agree. Like a crossbow guy needs to be willing to sit down in that conversation and say, my weapon is easier to use than yours, and it's not fair.
Mm-hmm. Which
Okay.
is a
He needs
tough
to.
ask for them.
And no different than a compound guy should have been willing to say, my weapon is easier than yours, and would happily admit it at the time. But the crossbow guys took the path, and it was traditional guys took the path that you're a cheater.
Yeah.
why?
They did compound bows are gay. It's exactly what they did.
And they
ended up dead.
crushed.
They ended up and got crushed. They took the same path that the average compound guy is taking
Why would the
today.
easier weapon secede, and why would they limit themselves? What's the incentive?
They didn't. They got steamrolled.
So there was still a reasonable amount of equal usage, like we are now.
Mm-hmm.
There's still an equal amount of reasonable usage, and all they really want is to be treated like they're an equal.
Yep.
And you don't.
Yep.
You treat them like they're less than you.
And traditional
And so
guys
in
didn't
turn-
treat compound guys like they were equal either.
In turn, they don't want to help you. They don't give a shit about you because you treat them like shit. It's as simple as that.
So
how this works is you treat them like an equal.
Okay.
And I did a podcast.
So what do you lie to him?
I did a podcast
You
of
say,
this.
yeah. No, it's the same.
Is he a hunter? Is he a hunter? Like you have a vitriol hate towards a crossbow guy more than you ever have towards a rifle guy.
Sure.
Why?
You do.
Because they're
Because
allowed
he's
in our
sharing your season.
Yeah, yeah.
He's shooting a weapon that's harder to shoot than the rifle guy, but you don't hate the rifle guy.
Right.
And he's only sharing your season because your legislature put it that way. It's not his fucking fault.
No, it's not.
So don't treat him like he's less. Because as you treat him like he's less, he's not going to give a shit about you when you go look at him and say, I need you to agree to this or we're never going to get anywhere.
Do you think that agreeance, though, will yield the legislative change?
It's the only chance you have.
Mm-hmm.
Both user parties agree it needs to be different. Both.
Because you're saying
Say, hey,
that if we
here's
don't,
us.
they're
here's
gonna
all of us
them
that are
out.
buying your tags and paying for your licenses, and we all agree with each other. You need to change. We need you to change this because it's important. But the only way you're getting that is if you treat him like he's an equal.
Well,
and don't wear shirts that say crossbows are gay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. and I agree. For the record, I agree.
Yeah.
Who are we to? In fact, I've said it the other way. We're the idiots for not using the most effective weapon in our season. Like, what are we doing? Right?
If you were to look at it the way I looked at it when I was 17 years old, I'd be shooting a crossbow.
Yeah.
Like at that point in
Why
my
would
life.
you? Of course.
It's
It's
the
like,
most effective
I am more
way.
effective with this tool.
Yes.
And it's the same season.
And it's easier.
And it's legal.
So why
Yeah.
am I using a weapon that's harder to use other than pride?
Agree.
I want to kill shit effectively in the season that's the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. And I haven't been faced with it from where I'm from because you can't use that weapon where I'm from.
Right.
And I don't know how I would address it when it came to that situation if it was allowed.
Hmm.
But I'm telling you, it's the same shit. And we're doing the same thing the traditional people did. And the traditional people are
Dead.
insignificant now because of it.
Well, I don't.
And they
I don't.
looked
I
at
don't
us that
disagree. If you could get crossbow hunters on board with saying, "Yeah,
So what's that look like?
we should have our own season."
Like
Well,
us, I say compound vertical, sacrificing half of the season to just
I
Crossbow?
think, well, so in almost any state, you can use a lesser weapon in any season.
so yes.
In most of the states
Yes.
I've been in, if it's rifle season and my tag is good from archery through rifle, I can use a bow and rifle season if I want.
I don't think we can use one in Ohio.
So most of the states that I've dealt with can.
A bow during gun season?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Yeah,
any
it never stops.
inferior weapon you're allowed
Not
to use
every
it.
state, but most states.
So
Yeah.
by granting that, hey, this is crossbow season, you're not really granting that it's crossbow season. You
Correct.
can still use it.
You can still use your vertical.
But you
bow.
could break it up and say this is bow season, crossbow season,
Sure.
muzzleloader
There's no
season,
loss
rifle
to
season.
the
There's nothing
bow
stopping
hunters.
you from using it. So there is no really end negative to you.
Of course.
By,
not.
I would agree.
but hey, we want to give you your own season.
Yeah.
We want to take our season, split it in half, and say it's yours and ours.
Well,
We're
right.
And
Okay,
we're
so
and
but
we're
the
treating
crossbow
you.
hunter says,
We're treating
"I
you
have
like
my
an
own
equal.
season."
We're treating you like an equal. I don't know if he understands that. I really don't. Saying, hey, we want to separate these weapons.
The
right? But
the manufacturers do, who's paying for the lobbyists, which is legislating, which is what I think really matters.
I disagree with you to an extent because I've had some conversations with some of those companies and they agree with me.
But effectively,
They know
in what
they
area?
know
What
it's
do
a
you mean?
problem. I've had conversations with some of the guys at Raven and they also agree that
What
it's a
do they
problem.
agree with? What do you mean?
That we need to separate the seasons or it's
Why
gonna,
would they say that?
because they know that there's an end to it.
Really?
I had
If
yes.
so, I
Hold on.
applaud them for the
Well,
foresight on that.
So and
because I
here's why
also believe
here's,
that.
Here's why I say that. The guy that I've known forever, John Hernandez, is from Bowtech way back in the day.
Mhm.
He used to be my sales rep like 15 years ago. He works for Raven.
Okay.
Right. And a lot of the old Bowtech people work for Raven. That's where Raven kind of developed their engineering
Okay.
staff from. He made everybody go around the room and say, all right, gun to your head. You can only shoot one weapon for the rest of your life. What are you going to use? None of them picked a crossbow.
Okay.
They know.
Yeah. So it's money.
Well, they're operating a business, but I think they would also agree that it needs to be different. And I'm going to go sit down with them and do a long form conversation and ask them hard questions.
Yeah.
And try to get answers out of them that, hey, this is going to go bad in the long run.
Can
And it eventually erodes to where there's not compound archery. And if there's not compound archery,
Well,
crossbows following it behind.
That, from a business perspective, I would super applaud their acknowledgement of that, because that's a long-term play that most people in this space don't have the foresight, to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by HHA.
Man, just another great partner. HHA sights have been on our bows for damn near a decade. They're reliable and durable. And when we were looking to make that change from a multi-pin to a single pin, it was HHA that was there for us.
That's what did it. I think we were dealing with some target panic years ago, or whatever issues we have. We just needed to simplify the process and lean into equipment that works. And for us, like you said, almost 10 years ago, that was the HHA sights.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been through a bunch of different models, the Tetras, the Nitrix, to now Nitrix Pro.
Yep.
Have the single pin, or I've got the X2, which actually has 2 pins on it. We're using Picatinny mounts on our Hoyt bows. And with today's model of bow and the speed that you're putting out, these single pin adjustable type sights are just a no-brainer for anyone looking to simplify their whitetail hunting.
That's right. They've got something for everybody. So right now, you can go to hhasports.com or to your local HHA dealer to check out any of these awesome sites. Like I said, I think your assessment on the erosion of archery over the, and maybe you were in that. Maybe crossbow or maybe compounds are a part of that. That's why I'm open to guys saying, we talked about the fairness or like the lethality, the ease of use between these three weapons. Yeah, dude, compound bows are. Yesterday, or whatever the time frame was, I didn't shoot my bow for 4 months, and then I went out and shot it at 70 yards within like this.
Mm-hmm.
Highly effective.
Yeah,
there's no argument, especially with today's technology. So, does that warrant its own traditional season?
Do we really think that we're about 50-50 right now between vertical and crossbow?
Yeah, I would say we're leaning heavier on the crossbow.
So supposedly,
as a state or as a
nationwide.
So there's
where
still,
it's legal.
Where it's legal.
Nationwide, my guess, complete guess, 60-40 crossbow to
I would say if you took every state where it's legal, every single one as the same class of weapon that's not designated as this is a harder weapon to hunt with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's more than half.
Okay, yeah. I would agree.
Compound.
No, crossbow.
Okay.
Crossbow's more than half in states where it's all legal,
yep.
And it's the number one hunted with weapon.
Yeah.
Period. In several states. Several states that allow all of it, the crossbow's the number one used thing.
Yep.
It's more than gun.
Why I say that is reflecting back on the traditional side is how
that's
fast,
a crazy statistic.
How fast did traditional get destroyed with the advent?
Less than 20 years.
Less than 20
From
years.
start
Less
to
than
finish.
10 years.
Nah, it was more than that.
Okay.
It was so like. Well, I only know
because we're like 10 years into this compound
from 2000 to 2010 or 1995 to 2005.
No. So when I was like 7,
yep.
right, which is mid 80s,
84,
85. So I remember it being.
What year did you grow that mohawk?
I've been wearing it publicly for close to 4 years, but I do it during hunting season every year. I just wear a hat and you wouldn't know it. So
mid 80s.
Mid 80s till 2005.
Okay.
Was
so
when
20
I just
years.
when the stuff just really didn't sell anymore.
So Josh, would you say in the mid 80s was that at
half
50-50?
It was 50-50, man.
So that
every
so
experience.
you would say
you went to a
so
shoot,
you would say that was at traditional bow hunter's peak.
I think. Well, no, traditional bow hunter's peak would have been before compounds existed.
Right.
No, that's true.
Then that was bow hunting.
But you saw
and they
you
still call
actually
them
got
bows.
to witness the decline in it.
I watched it. I watched it be half of everything to nothing in
we all
less
did
than
too.
20 years.
We just didn't realize it. Probably at
you
the
weren't
time.
you weren't selling
we were
it.
young.
You weren't. We
you
weren't
living
selling
it, and you weren't selling it.
I
so
mean,
you
I
weren't
was in my
seeing the
high school
shift.
heydays of seeing
And it was
on, but
it was 100% because they didn't have a separate season. And I would constantly ask, how come they don't get a different season? This thing's way harder to use.
makes a ton of sense.
I don't understand.
Did anybody have a traditional season?
Idaho did in a couple of units at one point.
What was that
that's
like,
it,
Josh,
that I
at the
know.
time? The only real, when we've been able to go back to it and talk to guys about it was John Eberhardt stands out in my mind as an opposition in
Wenzel's,
Michigan. The Wenzels
Barry and Gene.
were?
Yeah.
Okay. How did that go? Like, was there... I sense that right now there is a conversation that is addressing this difference. And hey, there's, we need to change that.
Very similar.
Obviously, this podcast didn't exist. Social media didn't exist at that time. Was that conversation happening like to the level?
I think not to this level because you couldn't hear it. Like you and I'd have the conversation privately and we'd talk about it. Or 5 guys in the shop would talk about it. You weren't hearing it on a public platform because hunting wasn't even talking.
There wasn't even really a hunting platform.
There wasn't really a hunting platform.
Maybe in like a bow hunting magazine.
A magazine, that I was going to say, that's it.
Yeah, and the reality of it is it's all our own responsibility to draw attention to how important it is. And the solution's never going to be screw those guys, get rid of that thing.
Sure.
Because you can't do that. It won't work. It's no different than the guns, like trying to think you're going to take away guns. You can't. There's too many of them. They're out here. You need a different solution for those that care about that.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same scenario. So you have to find a way to get everyone to agree that they need to be separate, or
So
there's never going to be a reason to incentivize the usage.
Thinking it was 20 years to erode traditional.
And we're 10 years
We're 10 years into this.
Yeah. But shockingly, the crossbow movement is a lot of gun. A lot of gun. But that's partially because they get to use a better season.
For sure. Why wouldn't they?
Well, okay.
If you move that back a little bit, maybe it's not as appealing.
Let me throw this out.
One second. Just 1 second. Just because I know the stat and I looked at it, and I know we brought them up, so I don't want to like completely spotlight them. Kentucky, right? We've said that they've done it right.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I agree or disagree is Kentucky first Saturday in November was when gun season starts through right before Thanksgiving. Okay, so they have an early gun season is what I'm getting at there. 70% of their deer harvest still by gun.
Well, it's because they give them the rut.
But it's also because Crossbows is separated. So and gun season's early. People don't feel the need to use a crossbow because it's later.
Yep.
And gun season's earlier.
There you go.
So they just say, well, screw it. I'm going to kill it with a gun anyways.
Any logical speaking person can look at most states' rules that allow crossbows over the top of archery as the exact same amount of time period and go, the biggest advantage I have is to hunt with a crossbow over
100%.
all the other weapons. Right?
That state is proof that they see the difference.
There's too much of an advantage. So you need to lower the advantage with it.
So check this out. I'm curious what your response would be to this from an archery perspective. I was born in 1993, so like I don't have perspective on all things leading up to or prior to that date. It would
same twin.
It 93,
92.
Attaboy. It would seem that like I reference the Midwest Whitetail Archive, right? And then we look at and we just talk to guys who are older than us that lived through the heyday. Seemed like management. Whatever you can attribute to, trail cameras were a part of it, understanding what deer were out there, and again, I'm more in a hunting conversation than archery exclusively. There have been times in the past where every states have struggled with herd numbers, quality, et cetera, quantity, really, I mean? Like we hunted some deer into, extinction, in those years, like whatever that was, 60s to 80s. Okay.
Before that, 50s to 70s. 80s is as populations came up. Most whitetail deer populations.
Did you hear my slurring? You thought I needed some more?
Most whitetail deer populations peaked in the 90s. Though I don't know how that compares to today.
I'm not going to leave you out.
So,
God, dandruff. Thought you liked me.
That seems unlike our crossbow compound discussion. That is not 50-50.
No, that is not.
You're the crossbow hunter in this scenario. Yeah. I'm what's left of a
dying breed.
If we're talking about this beverage, I'm okay with that.
All right, let me simplify it. It seemed like hunting was awesome, like between 2004 and 2011. Like we understood what deer could be at that point. We made an effort to be selective about the deer we're hunting stuff. Compounds were legal at that point, and I don't know exactly when crossbows, kind of came into the equation legal in the archery season.
11 to 13.
Okay, at the tail end of that, I'm not saying they're not the sole reason for the climb, but a lot of guys can look at that and say that was epic. We had some awesome deer to hunt. We had some great hunting experience. There was places to go. We enjoyed the sport of archery, like in the hunting season at that time. The fact that crossbows are at the very tail end of that maybe is a hole in my what I'm proposing here, but it seems to me possible that we can have that situation with crossbows in the mix and crossbow hunters, and you know what I mean, you know. I just feel like there are other things that we can address and fix so that people can still hunt with the weapons that they feel comfortable with. Even at the end of this conversation, I agree that archery will die if we don't incentivize getting, angling towards a more primitive weapon, whether it's compounds or, eventually traditional archery. Mm. But I do think there's things that we can do to preserve and prolong a great hunting experience, with archery equipment. Mm-hmm. In the meantime.
Sure. I don't disagree.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's totally
I'm
fair.
just looking at the time frame of it. It's like, hey, we had a great experience between 2004 and 2011. I think crossbows were included in that in some way, shape, or form. So how do we
the biggest
make
part
everybody
about
happy
that
with
2004 to 2011, this is going bigger picture, is that was the advent of social media. Facebook launched in 2003.
Fuck.
The grip and grin.
Before 2003. None of us knew what the fuck each other killed because we were thousands of miles apart. Unless you walked into the bow shop and they were pinned up.
Can I take it one more step farther?
These all taste great, though. I don't even know which one I've been drinking. They're all great.
It doesn't matter. It all does the same thing.
I think there was a point. Where it wasn't just social media. Social media made it more noticeable, and then all of a sudden people started hunting 3 states instead of 1.
Yeah, it's information.
So I think that's what it was. I think the reality and why all of a sudden everything seems so much worse. There's so much more.
There's an information.
Well,
hunting different subspecies, different states, etc. Like that increased.
2 things to throw into that would be mapping softwares.
Yeah.
And trail cameras.
Do you want to plug which one's the best that you've ever heard of in your life?
Well, I'm just saying, this is the most popular one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is 100%.
For
Crossbows are the
They're
most
good dudes.
popular. Why don't you use one of those?
He does.
He does.
Get me one for free. Pay me to use it, and I'll shoot it. So, yes, the world became much smaller with the advent of social media, trail cameras,
I mean,
mapping softwares.
Prior to 2004, 5, whatever, I never hunted out of state.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I
Dude,
stayed
They made it
in-state.
easy.
you're talking
I
MapQuest,
read
like
magazines.
forums, like bow,
I watched
Yep.
Buckmasters on TNN. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't shit to know about outside of the little box that I lived in.
Oh,
And then when that box blew open, which was the advent of information, mapping, etc., then everybody just went, you can do whatever you want. It's not that hard.
I do think, and I know I keep coming back, like looking at who's the culprit here. Like, cell cameras are a big part of it.
Yes.
You do realize the culprit doesn't matter. It's only that we find a viable solution. It doesn't matter whose fault it is.
Yes.
All we need to do is fix it.
But to fix it, it would be valuable to diagnos.
I don't.
And
I
I'm
don't
not
disagree.
trying.
Yeah.
They're
And I'm
trying.
not just
the
saying
West
punish
has
trail camera
banned
companies.
most trail
well,
cameras, right?
Some. There's a couple states, but it's still legal. In
But they're
most.
trying.
They're
Arizona,
they're discussing
Utah.
it. They're discussing it. Yeah, for sure. I think Arizona already has.
They're-
I'm pretty sure.
they're-
Or New Mexico.
So are you
yeah.
against cell cameras?
Yeah.
Well, I'm acknowledging the fact that they give us accessibility to whitetails and the ability to monitor properties and not hunt them.
So does the app on your shirt.
100%.
They both have affected access greatly.
Yeah.
There are things like societally that I think are
You sound like me 30 minutes ago.
Society.
that I think are tougher to pull back on.
I agree.
Mapping softwares, I think, are one.
But here's the thing. Do you think cell cameras are causing more damage or getting more people into the sport? Because now they have more accessibility. Now that
I
guy,
think they're causing more damage.
now that guy that works 7 days a week and only gets to hunt 3 days out of the year has cell cameras and knows exactly where he wants to hunt those couple days that he gets off.
That's the hardest part, is to put the 4 of us in that position, because that's not how we think. We don't think about one day.
You have to think about it from that perspective, because those are the guys that are paying our bills.
That's exactly it. They're the majority.
Yeah.
That's the
So
hardest
ask the
part.
question again. I'm sorry.
Which one?
I don't know. The last.
If you're a dude who only gets a couple days a season to hunt because he
Yeah.
works so much,
Yeah,
got
yeah.
family,
You
etc.
so let's say you got a truck driver. He pays $7,500 a year for a lease. He only gets to hunt maybe Thanksgiving weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He spends the money on cell cameras. He spends the money on those apps. He's doing all his analogs and analytics and all that good jazz while he's on the road.
Mm-hmm.
For that money he's already spent on the industry to hunt those 3 days. You're saying you're still against cell cameras and possibly that app?
Well, I'm not saying I'm against cell cameras.
What are you saying?
I'm saying they give us an undeniable advantage to be able to monitor and selectively harvest from the herd on the properties that we're hunting.
So there's a truck driving to your tree stand versus riding a horse.
Agreed. That's why, and so some things are more societal, and some things are. Yeah, see, and I don't know how to like tease them apart. You know what I mean? Because they all do.
I don't think you can. I don't think you
technology
can
is technology.
tease them apart.
Some
That's
gets
the
applied to
problem.
hunting, and some does not. You know, you're right. The fact that I have a truck with heated seats and like all that stuff allows me to get to Illinois better than I could 10 years ago.
The two easiest things to tease apart are weapon use and essentially sex of animal.
Yep.
Right, and historically, those have been broken apart. Buck season, gun season, archery season, doe season. Those have been historically what have been separated
Duck season
to keep things.
Wabbit season.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. And so if you look at that, you could beg the question, guys who are vertical bow hunters right now, if you were given a
How
crossbow
funny is
season,
that term even exists?
I know.
A vertical bow.
if you were given a crossbow season separate,
way.
are there people out there that would buy a vertical bow and vertical bow hunt, a crossbow and crossbow hunt, and a gun and gun hunt?
Yep.
The answer would be yes.
100%.
They absolutely
think so?
would. Absolutely.
Oh,
If you
100%.
made different ones, you bet.
Absolutely would. They would use the lesser weapon when they can only use the lesser weapon. They'd use the greater weapon when they can use the greater weapon.
probably right.
You know why? Because each one's going to give them a better advantage over that deer that they're trying to kill.
Absolutely.
If they haven't
You're
killed
right.
it with the
You
first
are
one.
right. Yeah.
That is to
That
me.
is not my nature.
I know.
100%.
I'm
We're
But
not
guess
talk-
what?
we're not
You could
talking
use
about the
yours the whole way
extremes.
through,
Yes.
right?
Yes, exactly. It's a eloquent solution to the problem.
That is the solution.
That is 100% the solution. We just have
It's
to.
not
get-
that hard.
We just have to get everybody to understand.
Okay,
it.
so just write it down and we'll sign it.
The
Well, it's that
problem
simple.
is when you overprescribed, when you laid the greater weapon over top of the entire lesser weapon, now there's your flaw. And how do you redact that?
Yeah.
If you wear skinny jeans, you got to hunt towards the end of the line, though.
That's it. That's it.
I was thinking,
Dude, I'm not-
I was just thinking
That's
today.
it.
I'm not
I-
kidding.
Listen, I said
can
I'm not going to wear my holy jeans today because I'm going to get shit for them.
Oh, you would 100%.
Yeah, but,
So I
I'm
wore
letting the skinny
so I wore
jeans
the
go.
tight
I'm
ones.
It's
just
a style,
saying, I
it's
can
fine.
see the buttons on the side of his iPhones in them pants right now.
That's actually his testicles.
You know what? yeah.
Why are they orange? Is that a 17 Pro?
You know what?
Definitely not a max. It's just a standard.
No, just standard.
You know what? I thought about for a minute being insecure about my skinny jeans, but I was like, you know what, dude? I'm freaking 33 years old.
I'm okay.
I've been rocking these. I never
That's
stopped
okay.
Country,
since I
man.
was
It's a
like
free
in-
country.
Free country.
Totally fine.
We start wearing
You know
these.
how much shit I get about a flat bill hat that's not even that flat?
It ain't that flat.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I like that hat. It's a
It's
bow boy
pretty,
hat.
it's pretty flat.
Yeah. Code MFJJ on Feathers and Antlers Outdoors.
Oh, how
We'll
about
get you
that?
nothing.
We'll get you nothing.
You know how many people?
Actually,
you
you
know how
will.
many people
Watch your
email
rejection.
me as a
We're gonna
joke?
give you plenty
It's
chances to
so
plug it.
annoying.
That's awesome. Hey, you said it.
I used this code. It didn't work.
Yeah, you got free shipping though over $45.
Yeah, I like to think I'm at the age here. I'm not MFJJ age, but I feel like, you know, hey, I've been wearing the skinny jeans for
Hey,
long enough.
dude, you do what you want to do, and
You're
what
married.
everybody
Who you
else
gotta
thinks
prove
doesn't
to?
matter.
It's a free
No,
It don't
country,
matter.
brother.
It don't matter.
Nobody.
All right, well, now I made it about me, and now it's uncomfortable.
Nothing's more appealing than a confident person walking into a room. Just be confident with what you're going to do.
Thanks.
Just
None
be
of the rest
glad
of it
Brandon's not here. He'd be giving you shit about
Well, your
your
guys'
watch.
endorsement makes me feel a lot better. So,
There you go.
well, Brandon's
Fantastic.
easy. So
Let me
I
make
don't worry about him.
one pivot because I do think it ties in, and I'm going to take it for their word as accurate from the ATA. Is that Jared and I guess, were naive to understand how large the recreational archery shooting category
Yeah.
is versus the bow hunting category.
Above and beyond. Yeah,
Like
we were blown away to
substantially
know there's
larger.
way more archers that don't bow hunt than there are bow hunting
100%.
archers. Yeah, said that right.
And so
That's crazy.
So tying that
me.
into kind of the future of archery, do we feel, and again, this is not to pick on them, but like if I see the guys shooting crossbows at ASA or whatever.
You're not gonna. You know why? Because you don't have to practice to be proficient with it. So why are you going to a tournament?
Yeah.
Why do they go to TAC?
It's rare.
No, it's not.
We've seen them.
How many?
How many?
Enough.
It's still rare.
More than 5?
I don't know. I'll have to pay attention this weekend.
Enough.
Sun's out.
I mean,
Really?
they
five
do,
out of
You don't think it's
5,000.
not very many?
but
No,
they
it's
do
not.
shoot a competition, right?
Yeah, they tried it like a couple of times.
Yeah. Why?
because they thought that they would actually go out and use the thing.
It's not working?
And do the leisure. There's no community. It's not a fucking community weapon. So you don't do these things. You don't practice all year. You don't go to tournaments. You don't go get better at it because it's a freaking perfect weapon already.
Yeah.
You don't have to get good
How many
with it.
times in your
It's
life have you
stupid.
heard your buddies say, "Hey, come over and shoot let's get everybody together, shoot our crossbows together."
Well, okay.
Versus your vertical bows.
Yeah, you are right. And
Once
that's
again,
that's maybe the premise for the conversation of like, guys have said, and we are open to, we just talked about this morning, why don't you have a diehard crossbow hunter on and just ask them why, how, why,
We've had a few.
all the things. And I'm like, find me one.
yeah.
We've had
that
a few
just shoots
that
crossbow.
have said that they would come
They
and
don't exist.
have the
Yeah.
discussion and
I
debate.
had
And
a,
he
You-
only
you
shoots
have
a
helped
crossbow.
us understand,
and he
though.
only ever
Yeah.
shoots a crossbow.
I had
I
a
don't
guy.
know.
I had a
He
guy
doesn't.
in mind, but
Shoots a
like
gun.
you said, he doesn't just shoot.
He doesn't shoot.
He'll gun
just
hunt,
shoot
right?
crossbow.
The two that
No,
I-
no,
the-
he's a
the-
vertical bow hunter primarily, but he is endorsed by a crossbow company.
Who is it?
Oh, interesting.
Go for it.
Travis.
Yeah, T-Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, T-Bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we love T-Bone.
So what's the
Everybody
problem?
loves T-Bone.
Nothing.
There's no problem.
But he's also
Or not the
he's-
problem, but what
he's
are we
not-
saying?
So if you're gonna have a diehard crossbow guy on, he's got to be committed that all he's using is a crossbow. You won't find one.
There's a few of them out there.
Okay.
There's so
name one.
few.
'Cause
Well,
I'm
name
genuinely
one.
trying to think of
So,
one.
there,
one.
so we talked about.
Well, that's
Scott-
interesting to me. So what, T-Bone is endorsed by a crossbow company.
But
Ten
obviously
point.
he's paid by Hoyt too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
he still shoots a bow.
Yeah.
And here's why.
Well, dude, T-Bone of all people is like-
T-Bone is a hunter.
Yeah.
He's not a bow hunter. He's not a. Well, no. Let me take that back. He is primarily known for his vertical bow hunting, but he also takes care of the crossbow side. Does he rifle hunt it? No.
I think he does.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
I would say
Yeah.
he does.
He does all kinds of hunting.
He also was
he's
a
a
tournament
hunter.
archer, right?
Yeah,
He
100%.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
dude,
was back in
and
the day.
T-Bone, frankly, is with all the respect, because we
He's
do have a
disabled.
lot of respect. Yeah, he as vertical bow hunters, we would say, look at T-Bone and say, dude, use a crossbow. Like, you know what I mean?
He doesn't.
His one leg. You know what I mean? And he's
Yeah.
and his weight because of the diabetes, cancer.
Cancer.
Nope.
I'm not sure.
Cancer.
Cancer.
It wasn't
Cancer.
diabetes.
Well, and it's just
Well,
just a lifetime of like,
lack of ability.
that is somebody
of
that
movement.
you
but
can talk
but
to
his-
and easily
his
see the
medical
passion.
was from cancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Losing his leg.
That's
was from
right.
cancer.
That would be a very good
And
one for
say,
y'all to have
listen,
on.
this is
We
a
had
class of
T-Bone on.
this is
you
why
have?
Had a great
crossbows
conversation
exist.
with them.
This is why
Yeah, we love
we
them.
want crossbows to be allowed for a class of people so that they can participate in the sport.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
But to what you said, I can't think of anybody that is just a diehard
So,
only crossbow
the two that
person.
came to mind that-
Scott and Steve Esker, who are in Columbus, Ohio, who are primarily bow hunters, who, as far as I know, only use crossbows. I don't know that for a fact, but at least for everything I've seen, yes.
There's no platform that I know of, right?
Just
They don't.
social media.
So-
Okay.
Here's an interesting thing to look at. It's the most popular user group, and you're struggling to name someone that's just
We
a
are.
diehard crossbow guy.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm getting at.
That is
There's
the
no
problem.
community.
Yes. Yeah.
There's none of that.
There's plenty of people that use them, but
Yeah.
they don't only
Yeah.
use them.
there's also
I can name
there's
a- I
also
can
an
name a-
embarrassment to it.
I can
to
name
our
a
early
plethora.
conversation.
I can name a plethora of diehard rifle guys.
Absolutely, me too.
I can name a plethora of diehard archery guys.
Anybody else going to
Plethora.
Google that word later?
Yeah, I'm probably using it wrong.
Plethora.
You can't.
Plethora.
Sure. You can't.
It's the
I think
Yeah.
you named a dinosaur.
I like it.
No, that's not a dinosaur.
Plethorosaurus.
Plethora, whatever. I'm a high school graduate.
the plethora actually connects to the
Yeah.
lower decimal.
that's
I was trying to hang with you, brother,
That's
but when you
no,
said
it was good. Plethora.
Plethora.
Plethora is the
Yeah,
correct word. Thank you.
he lived in the same era, he lived in the same era as recurve shooters.
Yeah. Bear with me. Yeah, you don't find that in that group.
You don't.
You don't.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there have been maybe 2 or 3, and I mean, not that we trash talk, but I mean, we obviously have our beef.
We
with
no,
crossbows,
in
right?
fairness, we have not. I said we are the idiots for not hunting with crossbows during the archery season. I blame the states and the legislators for not realizing the difference, and it's creating a problem for everybody.
It's brought 2 or 3 people out of the woodwork who said, "I'm a diehard crossbow. I'll sit there. I'll have the debate, etc."
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can have a serious debate with them if it's going to be a conversation of like, I can give a crossbow to my 10-year-old and he can go and kill a deer at 50 yards. If I give him my compound, he can't do the same thing. And they'll say, well, they're still the same.
Well, it's an easy argument to make from that side of it. It's just it's more efficient.
But if they're not willing to admit that,
that's what I'm saying.
Can you have a debate and a conversation? The answer is no.
Well, no, a crossbow guy's going to admit it's a more efficient weapon.
They won't. They'll tell me it's the same as my compound.
Well, do you know what though?
Then they're crazy.
They will.
Listen,
that is the number one
though,
argument that we get.
If they don't, which you'd hope that they would not, because that's logic.
Yep.
We got to go.
We got it. We got
Fair
it.
enough. We'll wrap up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
We would be in the exact same position as compound hunters with traditional archers making that argument. They would say
there is no difference there. I think that was a great point.
Yeah.
So we're in a tough spot with, again, it comes down to where do you draw the line with the resource kind of a thing, and I think
it just has to be
it's
separate.
supposed to be the
seasons.
state's responsibility. It's not supposed to be ours, but
Separate seasons would solve. It is the solution. How we get there is a big uphill political.
A different
ballot.
name, a different season.
That's it. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's just
an adequate season.
the political uphill battle is the hard part because they're not thinking from a standpoint of what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyways,
all right, boys.
I think people enjoyed it.
We got the look. Time to go.
I am rock hard right now. This was a great conversation.
This was a lot of fun,
This
guys.
was
I really enjoyed
good.
this.
This
I'm
is
glad you're not. I'd be able to see it.
Yeah.
It's probably the amount of
My
bourbon.
Porfora.
It's the amount of bourbon he drank. It gets a little soft.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that in live. You want to see the plethora?
The plethora of this. Anyways, we appreciate you guys joining with us. Thanks for stopping in and look forward to TAC this week. And we appreciate everybody listening.
Are y'all coming?
We're coming.
Yeah, we'll be there. Before we wrap up,
I already did come. Sorry.
Before we wrap up, do you guys want to drop any where we can find you guys?
Yeah, there you go.
Anything about your shop, your channels?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
PodiumArcher.com, Podium Archer on YouTube, Podium Archer on Instagram, and Scotty.
Before that,
Oh,
what
TikTok.
is your
MFJJ.
Facebook? Because I keep tagging the wrong.
Podium Archer.
Oh, there's a Josh Jones too.
There
It's
is.
just-
That's
okay.
mine too. That's
Yeah.
my personal. That's
I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
feathersandantlersoutdoors.com, Bowboy on YouTube and Instagram, Scot Evans on Facebook, and Botalk on TikTok.
Botalk.
Yeah.
Right
There
on.
you go.
Yep, it was an accident like my birth. Didn't think it was going to take off.
It's
Very
usually
cool.
how TikTok operates. Well, we appreciate everybody listening to episode 321 of Hunter Podcast, and we will catch y'all next week.
Later.
Take me on down the